Good evening and welcome to ESN for our coverage of the AWSCO Windows Cup Series. We're here in Arizona for at Phoenix Raceway for the Southwest Airlines 500. It'll be 500 kilometers, so that'll be
Drivers,
311
to your
laps
cars.
around this mile oval. That's not quite like any other in the racing circuit, I don't think. Yesterday we had the Snapdragon Continental Series race here as well, and it was we had a pretty good race here. So and joined here tonight with Arena, who was here with me last time around for the Continental race. So bit of familiar circumstance here for both of us, I think.
Yeah, I mean, definitely getting to feel the vibe of the weekend, getting to spend time out here. I mean, we talked about it a lot yesterday. Avondale is a beautiful city, and the Phoenix area is very beautiful. Getting to be here, it's very warm, of course, here in Arizona. But yesterday, I wonder how much of what we learned yesterday during the Continental race will end up feeding into the Cup race. Obviously, these cars drive a little bit differently. They're built a little bit differently, but the track has definitely been used a lot more this weekend. Should have a bit more rubber buildup. So how do you think it'll how do you think all of that will feed into today's race and how it ends up playing out?
Yeah, of course the Continental race means we have quite a bit more rubber, built up on the racetrack, but I don't think it'll change the racing too much. I think it'll be pretty close to what we saw in the Continental race, but the longer scale of the race will definitely play a bigger, play a different, uh, make the race rather different because there's going to be a lot more. Teams going to be a lot more free in terms of strategy, I think, because it's going to be that many more laps to experiment and change things up. And we saw
Yeah,
in
I
the
think.
we go ahead.
Yeah, I think because we saw it in the Continental race, how setup dependent this track can be, and how like uh, your like toe in and different aspects of how they adjust the car can affect how well you handle, especially over the long run. And they're gonna have a lot more opportunities to work on their cars today. So I think if I can make a prediction this early, I don't think we'll have a pole to pole winner. I think we'll see comers and goers quite a bit today.
Oh yeah, I think so. Over the it might not be the case early on in the race, but if you get a long green flag run, it's definitely going to shake things up in terms of the running order and especially if we get a long green flag cycle, that'll definitely also shake things up in terms of the running order. We saw that was the case in the Continental race as well. So if you scale that up to the length of this Cup race, it's gonna be even bigger, I think. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and I
definitely going to be a. Go ahead.
yeah, the Cup driver is obviously a bit more experienced, and these are some of the best in the world, if not the best in the world, driving out here today. So I wonder how that'll end up playing. We didn't see a whole lot of mistakes, really, just a lot of maybe over aggressive moves during the Continental race. But um, another thing that we saw, and something that I wonder will carry on over to the Cup race, was the prevalence of mechanical failures. Phoenix seemed to be very, very hard on the Continental cars, and obviously they're built a bit differently and they race a little bit differently. But do you think that'll be something that we see a bit more of?
Yeah, I mean, mechanical problems have kind of been the how should I say it? The kind of been a theme in the last couple of races early on in this season, and we saw that in the Continental race. I think we'll see it, just as much in this race. So yeah, I think it's going to be I think there's going to be a level of attrition in this race that's going to play a role. I think we might not see it. Well, I said we might not see it early on, but we saw that attrition start early on in the Continental race. So we'll just have to see with that one. I think, considering considering how early we started getting mechanical issues in the Continental race. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we had all of Uberman Enterprises out of the race at the by the end there, and I was just I hope that team is going to be here today, and I hope they're able to kick their demons a little bit in the Cup race.
Yeah, that seems to be a theme for Uberman though. They've been particularly good in the Cup Series, but they just haven't. They've had a lot more problems in the Continental Series. So I'm not sure what.
It's hard to bet on Mercedes engines. Man, they are fast, but reliability issues have seemed to be a theme for them.
Yeah, might be a bit of a glass cannon approach. That's not unfamiliar. I think in terms of Mercedes engines in motorsports. So that's definitely something that I think Uberman have been looking at.
So another thing going out of, especially after Denver, going into Phoenix, we saw the Fords continue their kind of streak of I wouldn't say dominance, but definitely the fastest in the garage as far as the manufacturers go. And Phoenix is a track that we know that they're pretty good at. They're very good in the NASCAR Cup Series. Do you think that can translate over to AWSCO? I know the cars are a little bit different, but
Hmm.
did you hear me?
Oh yeah, can you repeat that last bit there? I didn't quite get
I
that.
know the Fords are definitely fast at Phoenix in the NASCAR Cup Series, and I'm wondering, do you think that they're going to be able to take what they learned there and apply it here?
Oh, well, I mean, the Fords have been quick in this series. I wouldn't be surprised if they're fast today, but you know, I definitely expect to see Fords running at the furthest race, and considering that we have a Ford on the front row in the 96 of Rugatino, it's not exact, I don't think it'll be, I don't think it's out of the question to consider, the Ford car as a front runner and one of the favorites to win this race. I think, especially the Dark Horse racing cars have just been that good, have been very good at getting top finishes as of late. So that's going to be
I mean,
something
and
that'll be one to look out for.
we go ahead and look at the history so far this series. Have we run any short tracks here in the Windows Cup Series yet?
In the Cup Series, don't recall running it. I don't recall running any in the Cup Series. This is, I think, the first track that's outside of the exhibition race at the Daytona backstretch. This is the first race that's at a track that's 1 mile or under. There's not that many short tracks in this series. So yeah, this is in fact the first track of that nature that we're going through in the Cup Series. So this is definitely new for these guys.
Well, I mean, if we think we can abstract anything from that Daytona pack stretch race, I mean, I guess keep an eye on the Inverness cars. Keep an eye on the Gulf Racing cars as well. I think you probably look at Sophie Chantese as somebody who might stand out if we can really take anything from that. But of course, that's a very, very different track, and you're not sure if that's really gonna apply here. But this one's gonna be kind of hard to predict. Looking at qualifying, I mean, I'm looking at Rugatino. Already has a win this season, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he won at Calder Park, of course, with that dominant performance.
So, and obviously the Dark Horse and MPM cars have been very, very good this year. So
yeah.
So this is going to be exciting. This is going to be.
Yeah, the MPM car is kind of starting all over the place, but most of them are at the back. So it's going to be quite a long race for those guys. But as we saw in the Continental Series race, it's definitely starting at the back isn't exactly a hindrance. And with 311 laps here, I wouldn't count anybody out in this race. I think it's gonna require a full team effort to get get a good finish at the end of this one.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be an interesting race, and this might be one of the. I really think it might be one of the less predictable races on the schedule, at least so far. So
yeah,
I don't really have much else to say from the FanDuel studio. I guess we can do our pre-race picks if we can get connected to the booth.
Yeah, we'll look around at some of the cars that are starting up front. I mean, you have the 27 of Nietzsche Garnstone. That's a driver that that you can't really count out. Considering her performances so far this season, she's sitting third in the standings. Come close to wins a couple of times. She hasn't gotten to victory lane yet, but I think she has the pace to get it done here. It'll be a matter of team execution and strategy, and she's been outplayed a few times there, but I think the cards will fall her way sooner than later, I think.
Yeah, Garnstone is definitely not somebody you can count out. She's been quietly very good all season. I'm also, personally, I'm thinking about that 55 for Dark Horse. If I can pull up our starting grid here. 55, of course, starting in row 13, 25th position, Bria Delade. But I think that we'll see good things from that team and that squad specifically. Just a hunch I have. If we can get Echo and Data, are you guys there?
Yeah, I got you.
Do you guys? So we're doing our FanDuel pre-race picks. Who do you guys got?
I think my early pick's gonna be the hometown driver here, Cynthia Rariston in the 32. She's starting pretty deep in the field, but she's run pretty solidly all season, and I think that the Atlantic Racing Team has brought some speed here to this track, and I think we're gonna see that play out today. I think it'll be Rariston out that takes this one.
Yeah, Rariston starting in 27th, right behind the 55 car. And Data, who do you have?
As someone who's a little bit more newer to the series, I really don't have a pick, but what I would say it's who can make the least mistakes around Phoenix. Phoenix is known for being sometimes a tricky track that as long as you don't make mistakes on pit road, because there's a chance to lose a lap on pit road with how fast the Phoenix technically is. It's a very fast, short track. You just need strategy and no mistakes on pit road is something I would say.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
that one.
All right. Well, I think unless you have any final thoughts for us here, that we are good up here in the FanDuel fan studio.
Nope, I don't really have anything else to add, so we'll just take you straight to the booth now for the start of the race. Go ahead, Echo.
Yeah, and welcome to Phoenix Raceway here in lovely Arizona, in the Valley of the Sun, for the Southwest Airlines 500. It's the 8th race of the season here for the AWSCO Windows Cup Series. I'm Echo. I'm joined by Data. Hi, Data.
Hello. Yeah,
So-
kind of a new voice here.
So, this track is very tough, and these cars have, they haven't really run a lot of short tracks this year. We've just seen them run at the Daytona backstretch, but aside from that, we haven't really seen them run any flat tracks like this one, aside from, I guess, maybe Denver, if you can kind of count that, but that's way higher speed.
Yeah, and it's only when they're on the lower part of the track, because that's
Yeah.
where the track is a little more flat.
Yeah. What do you think these drivers have to do to get used to this track today, and where do you think they're gonna be running the best in this one?
I could see it being the high groove, or also the front straightaway, because we will see them probably clip that apron. And as the guys in the booth were talking about, I agree. Mechanical issues, don't hit the apron too hard, and there's going to be a lot of places to run, but I'm guessing that high line is probably going to run pretty well tonight.
Yeah, we saw in the Continental race yesterday, the high line just got really good runs, especially out of turn 4, but it was definitely very clearly the better lane. So we're going to see how this one plays out. All right, Let's see our starting grid. Row 1, it's the 62, Halis Jukovic, the Daytona 500 winner, is alongside the Calder Park winner, Angeli Rugatino. Row 2, the 26, Sophie Chantasse, who won at the Clash at the Daytona backstretch, and the 9 of Carly Byrne. Row 3 is the 13 of Yania Waterton, and the 27 of Nietzsche Garnstone, who came oh so close to winning in Bathurst, one of the 2 road courses we've run. Row 4, the 10, Audie Stoneman, and the 42, Mika Gennaro. Row 5, last week's pole sitter Tabrizia Tolerone in the 15, and the 3 of Mimi Barino. Row 6 is the 20 of DeGabi Abriella, and the 46 of Yunfi Yanaga. Row 7, the 52, Rachel Cole, and the 91 of Alicia Byrne. Row 8 is the 16, Sky and Jetta, who's running her first full race in a couple weeks after being injured the last two. Alongside her is the 23, Yappy Malikson. Row 9, the 93, Irenia Tosima, and the 39, Lily Talberson. Row 10 is the 1 of Alicia Vancy and the 64, Jocelynia Nihale, the points leader coming in. Row 11, the 6 of Jiami McJasmina and the 38 of Youngwei Koo. Row 12, the 60 of AWSCO and the 31, Taylor Happeman. Row 13, the 55, Bria Delade, winner at Fontana, and the 71 of Abby Little. Row 14 is the 32 of Cynthia Rarison and the 21 of Amani Wandayo. Row 15, the 17 of Dara Reister and the 22 of Andrea Davison. Row 16 is the 98 of Ava Ajarsaraj, who won at Willow Springs, and the 82 of Pace Laniria. Row 17, the 72, Janet Parkings, and the 34 of Mika Harina. Row 18 is the 18 Peri Alicantes, last week's winner, and the 2 of Izzy Javida. Row 19, the 8 Lowry Schliesenbach, and the 92 Mikhail Yatica. And in row 20, the 99 Mauricia Vebels, and the 19 of Arlen Handstrom. Both two winners, Vebels who won at Las Vegas and Handstrom won in Bathurst. So, the Fords have been dominant, but not a lot of Fords are starting up at the front in this one. We just have one Ford in the top 10. Do you think that's going to hinder them at all, or do you think they're still going to be just as fast as we've seen them be all season?
I would hedge not saying anything until we get through that opening lap. That first lap chaos could change who's leading this race. Look, if you forget how wide Tech Phoenix is.
You know what? Fair enough.
Yeah. Because we're probably going to see them everywhere until that top line comes in.
I think one car I'm really interested in is Chantose, just because she won the Clash. She won the only race we really had at a short track. She started up front, so I mean, I know that qualifying isn't really everything. These races are so long, but
yeah.
Start your engines.
Well, the command has been given, so we're about to get racing here in the desert.
What makes Phoenix weird is that it's very flat here in 1 and 2, but 3 and 4 there's a bit more banking.
Yeah.
There goes the pace car, but it's going to be a long time till we get to the start finish line. We'll have a little bit of a wait here.
Yeah, the pit straight is the pace car pulls off very early. The pit road is well before the start finish line, just because of this track's old configuration. It's Yukovic and Rugatino at the front. Green flag is out, and we're racing in Phoenix.
Looks like the inside got a good run, but we'll see.
Yukovic got a great jump at the start, but Rugatino's going to fight on the high side here.
Oh, 4 wide. Or 3 or 4.
Whoa, Gabriella and Barino made contact there.
Yeah.
That's very close to being disastrous.
Yep.
We do survive this first lap.
Front 2. There's a shortcut. The dog leg.
Yeah, they'll jump down to the apron, but that's not really faster, especially because of the banking transition.
Yeah, I'm watching right now that 55 because they're lower than anyone on the track.
Yeah, but she had to check up really badly out of turn 2, and that's why running that low, just it'll work for a little bit, but you can't run too low, otherwise it'll hurt.
Yeah.
Yukovic gets away at the front. Rugatino.
It's really a top 3 breakaway.
Yeah, the top 3 have kind of driven away. Carly Byrne up here in the 9 car. Carly Byrne's had a great struggle this season, but she got a top 10 finish at Denver last week, kind of trying to turn her season around. I lied, she was 13th.
Car you said, is that the car that won Daytona?
No, it's the
Actually-
62.
Oh!
Caution! The 32 Rariston is involved.
We got a few cars involved. Ooh.
Looks like the 8 of Schliesenbach as well.
Yeah.
I think everyone's going to
Is
come to pit
everyone-
road here. Not everyone.
No, split. We got to split. The leader comes in, but not everyone. That's already going to put our pole sitter deep in the decently deep in the field. That's going to be interesting.
Well, it looks like about half the cars are coming in and half of them are staying out, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well,
Shall we see what happened to Verstappen? Uh-oh.
let's see, racing with a Javida back here. This should just get bumped.
Behind a purple car, maybe?
Oh, a Javida got into McJasmina.
Nice job for some of those people getting stopped.
Yeah, Reister had to slow up a lot. In fact, I think she completely...
I think she hit the ball.
Oh, she hit the 8 there.
And it grinded the wall a bit, yeah. Schleichenbach? Yeah, Schleichenbach looks...
Schliesenbach in the 8, yeah. That car's got a lot of damage as well.
Yeah. Looks like everyone paid it. I think we only had one retirement during that.
32 is out of the race, but yeah, everyone else is still going. No free pass here because, well...
First caution.
Yeah, nobody's off the lead lap.
Now I'm curious how slow how fast we're gonna get lap cars.
Yeah, the 6 kind of, the 6 took a bit of a pummeling there, but
Also missing the back end.
yeah. Hey, I mean that's not the worst thing. I've seen cars run
Yeah.
up front with missing rear ends.
This isn't Dega or Daytona. This isn't one of our super speedways.
Yeah. So Rigatino has the lead.
Yep.
Chantose, Yanaga, Talberson, Gennaro. And the driver and our pole sitter, who pitted there, is scored in 21st. So it was exactly a half the field split that came down and versus staying out.
Look, there's the 55 who was super low, is actually going to start just ahead of them.
Yeah. I think we're going to get our signal that we're going back green this lap. Yes, we are. So an early yellow here. We didn't see this in the Continental race. The Continental race, it took us until lap 50 to see a caution. And then we didn't get another one until lap 170. So we went very long green in that race.
Maybe that was just, they need to get that out their system, and now we're going to go green for a while.
Hopefully.
But hopefully, this is a late start. The cooler track temps are going to be interesting.
Cooler. It is Phoenix.
It is Phoenix.
It also already helps that there's already rubber laid down here, especially from not only the Continental cars, but also from the RSCC cars that just ran this track earlier today.
Yeah.
And here we go. Green flag is out.
We got cars already getting spread out a little bit.
I'm curious to see if we're going to see anybody have to come into pit road for jumping the restart. But it looks like we're all clean. Yeah,
Right
looks
now,
like,
yeah.
Looks like we're all good.
Well, we got Val for the lead. 26 is hounding our leader.
Oh, had to check up. I think the 19 might have got in the wall there a little bit.
Yeah. And you can see the 62 here. Oh, this is gonna be tight coming out of Ew.
Oh, the 17's coming to pit road. I don't think that's a penalty.
That-
Remember, she had damage, and she actually chose to stay out.
Uh-oh. What the heck? Oh, God.
Why?
27's really high.
Why are we
27's
4?
really
Why
high.
are we going 4?
Why with 4? Why with 4? Oh, God.
I don't know how that worked, but it did.
That means we already do have a lap down car unless they retire. Nope.
The 8 retired.
Ah.
So yeah, we do have 2 retirements. You lied. You said you only had 1 retirement. Nah, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Whoa! Battle for the lead.
26 is there.
Yeah. What we're seeing this again. The top 3 just trying to escape.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. The 62's moved up to 17th, so she's gained a couple positions. I'm curious as to,
Yeah.
you know, if she's actually gained any more. No, she hasn't.
yeah.
17's coming back
Oh,
out.
yeah, this should be interesting. That we're
She emerges in at the back of the field, so
yeah.
not the worst. Not the worst spot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the question is, will we get green flag pit stops here? Because this is where you lose like a lap or 2.
We did see green flag stops in the Continental race yesterday. I think as well, you know, we've been on a pretty solid run of clean racing lately. You know, Willow Springs only had a couple of yellow flags. Denver last week, we started the race with a 120 lap green flag run before we saw a yellow flag.
Also, that 26 is constantly having issues each time he closes up on the 96. Each time she gets close, she seems to have to back off. Like, her car's not handling well.
I mean, I think her car is handling well. It's just not good in, like, you know, that dirty air. I think
Traffic,
that's what
yeah,
it is,
dirty
yeah.
air.
It's probably just dirty air, but I mean, like, you know, when you get to the outside, which I think is what she needs to do, she can get to the outside, that's where it'll really kick in for her.
Yeah. That 55 is moving forward, though. That car that started out back.
It is. She's 11th right now, battling Abby Little for that position.
Abby seems to got that high line moving.
Yeah, see, the high lane just really kicks up very well.
Oh, here we go.
46 looking to the outside for second.
Got
Here
more
comes-
cars moving up.
Yeah, here comes the 42. Gennaro looking to the outside of Talberson. That's 2 Southwest Racing cars.
Yep. Okay, it looks like the race has finally calmed down. Hopefully that wasn't just Commandeer's curse right there.
I had to check the pace car just to make sure.
Yeah. How's our slow cars? That's going to be an interesting thing to check right now. So it's
Not
6
that
isn't too
badly.
slow.
The 6 actually just ran her fast. The 6 only ran about 300ths off her fastest lap. So, and these, it looks like these cars aren't that off the pace. So,
You know, yeah, you actually know what's going to be interesting? The 17 much later in this run.
I don't.
Has fresh tires.
I mean, yeah, she has fresh tires, but I don't think she has enough of an advantage on the tires right now. We did see.
But
yes.
no, that's why I was saying much later in the run.
Well, yeah, but she's only got, what, like 10 laps, maybe, fresher tires? If that. Also, you know, as well keep in mind that she's still behind all the cars who pitted this last caution and also took tires then, so
Yeah, good point.
that's more like, what, like 6 laps on those cars?
Yeah. If anything, the 96 is trying to check out.
Whoa, here comes Yabi Malikson in the 23.
Yeah. But these guys battling are causing the 96 and 46 to literally check out.
Yeah, they're driving away right now.
Yeah, This is ideal for the 96 and 46, not ideal for these two.
26 actually managed to hold on to third from the inside lane, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the cars that they need to be worried about are the ones coming through the field right now.
Well, let's see. 62 still scored in 17th, so she hasn't gained.
Yeah.
She hasn't
Yeah,
gained
it's
anything since we last checked on her.
There's the 55.
Yeah, there's the
The
55.
car, the car that's been making the inside work at times. I haven't seen them go really high. A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
21 Wandayo is about to take 9th from Barino. NordVPN fastest lap right now belongs to the 26 Sophie Chantose. 28.068. That's the lap time that Chantose is currently scored with. I think the 96 just kind of ran down on the apron, and you know, even by yourself when you run down on the apron, it slows you down enough to where, you know, the cars that kind of run a little higher on exit catch up to you.
Yeah. Actually, what actually has happened is that 46 just suddenly shut off. Like, because they suddenly got caught by everyone behind them. Those two just like suddenly slowed down.
There's a fight
Here
for
comes
5th.
the
39, Lily Talberson. You got the 91 of Alicia Byrne here as well.
Oh, the insight's working. The 42 just got that fast done.
I don't think she passed. I think she just held her position.
Out for the lead, or second.
That's for second, yeah.
26. Yeah. 96 is
It's
just
okay.
out
I
there.
can forgive you. The 26 was battling for the lead earlier.
Also, it doesn't help that the 46 and 96 have very similar paint schemes
Yeah, they're both black and orange.
and white numbers.
There's some interesting fights back here. See Jukovic fighting with Vancy and Abriella.
I'm not
Whoa.
liking that pit stall. Whoa.
62 is actually kind of holding with the 1 here, although she's going to drop back behind her now.
Wow, someone was way up on that corner. I'm not sure who was running.
39
23
got
is
around
running
with 42.
Yep.
23 is looking high. 26 is looking high.
And that causes the 96 to pull away again. Oh, well, oh, did you see the slide by the 46 there?
Yeah, no, it's really sketchy on the bottom lane.
But the 46 is trying to make it work. You're seeing that.
Oh man, I just don't see it happening. She's keeping with her though.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
she's
now
gonna at
the
least hold on to
26.
third. You know, in the Continental race yesterday, what happened? You know, okay, sometimes what we'd see happen is if you got on the bottom, you'd kind of get freight trained, kind of like it would be at a short track, where if you got stuck on the bottom, you just kind of everyone got around you. But I think with the little bit warmer temperatures we're seeing tonight, and the lack of, you know, it's not cloudy on the track, so there's a little less grip.
That's probably what's also letting the 96 run the pace they want. Because the passing looks difficult tonight.
It is difficult, but that is also kind of partly just how you run Phoenix.
Yeah.
Phoenix has never really been known as a track that is easy to pass at.
Yeah. It's been known for a track where you get lucky.
Whoa, the 21 really slowed up. That's got to be a failure of some kind.
Okay, we're good.
Comes down the pit road. We'll see if we can get a pit reporter on that.
That really split up the group, our parts of our top 10 because of that. Whoa! this battle hasn't calmed down. Those three have not.
They're going
calmed down.
3 wide.
Okay, I thought someone's gonna spin off someone.
Here comes the 39 around the 46. 23's gotten around.
Yeah. I haven't heard anything on taking.
Yeah, we sent a prep reporter down. Rasha, what's up?
Yeah, we're checking over with the 21, I think. On the radio, we heard reports that the engine was misfiring there, so they're taking it under the hood right now just to check, see what's going on with the engine there. They're hopeful that they're going to be able to fix it and get the car back out, but that's gonna be that might be a bit of a coin flip odds with that. Well, but it's definitely going to take a little bit of time. They're gonna fall down quite a few laps here as they continue to work on the engine.
She is back out on track. I think the interesting thing you're going to see is, if this car does have an engine issue, it's going to be really slow down the straightaways, but she just took tires. She just took tires, so actually she'll be pretty competent on, in terms of corner speed.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
The 23 has taken second.
While we're going over that, yeah.
That's the 21's teammate, ironically enough, so.
Oh, hopefully it's not a cross team. And I'll say this: seeing the 96 out front feels something very familiar. Or a different driver.
Well, the interesting thing about that is that, that driver that you're mentioning, they are actually helping out here.
Oh,
because that is the same team. Yeah, Dark Horse Racing is Jane Smith Motorsports, just they're running under a different name. And the Smiths are kind of involved in helping out this car, so.
It might explain its speed right now. Some of its speed right now. 2-second lead, my God. Oh wow, yeah, that 96 is going away.
Yeah, that car is pretty hooked up right now, but. I don't know if she's the fastest car. Plus, I think some of these cars behind might be just kind of taking it easy, kind of just trying to not wear the tires out too much.
Yeah, and actually the 62 is moved up.
Yeah, she's up to 13th.
Something.
She's up to 13th now.
I would actually think mostly everyone's in cruise control except
whatever's going on back here. Yeah. That's Sky and Jetta in the 16.
Yeah, it's kind of wherever we look, we're finding someone on.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. The thing I'm really enjoying is that even if the lead battle is even if the leaders are kind of pulling away. It's very hard to find a spot on the track where there aren't cars battling. I think that's something that, sometimes this track has struggled with, but...
You know what's going to get fun is if this race goes long enough, lap cars are going to be a fun thing.
Oh yeah, we did see that in the Continental race. The lap cars actually held it up to the point where the leader had a lead of almost 10 seconds, but then we got a yellow flag late in the race, and that reset pretty much everything.
So, let's... You want to do Oh! I was about to say, we have a battle right here.
Yeah, there's Chantose is going to take second from Malikson, and I see Talberson trying to take third from Malikson.
Yeah.
Yanaga going around Alicia Byrne, and then she's got Gennaro behind her. Shout out Abby Little in the 71. Little
Yeah.
came into this race. I believe she's dead last in points. Oh, wait, no. She's second to last. Last is the 26. Which is also
Yeah,
worth a
and-
shout out, but, you know.
And I guess I have my pick because I've been referencing them so much. The 55 has just been showing some great speed.
That's Rugatino's teammate out front, Bria DeLaude in the 55. Won at Fontana.
Yeah.
So, hey, she's already got that winning pedigree. And yeah, these cars are
96
closing.
96 just ran the apron again.
Yeah. I was about to say, I just noticed that, and then I saw her run the apron again, and I'm like, wow, okay. These cars are closing back in now. '23 was looking up high. And yeah, down to 0.7 of a second.
But the only other leader we've had is the 62. Still. And didn't the 55 pass 2 cars while we were gone?
The 55, I believe, just got around the outside of the 31 here, yeah.
And pass the 71.
Here's the 62.
62 is stuck. They seem stuck behind the 19 and 52.
I mean, yeah.
I
I guess I can't say that's surprising. You kind of do get stuck here just because of how the arrow is, and
Yeah.
this isn't exactly an easy track to run.
Yeah. I think we're starting to see the tires wear, because look at this. We might have that battle for the lead.
Yeah,
Pardon me,
they're
I was
almost
using the-
they're almost a second off their fast laps right now.
Yeah. Oh, that was the 6.
Yeah, that is the 6.
They're closing on them.
Yeah, they're not. The 6 doesn't look like terribly off pace, but enough
And
off
something-
pace to where she could be annoying to try and get by.
And suddenly we have we got 4 cars battling for the lead.
Yeah, Malikson and Talberson have closed in on this now. And you know, we know that Dark Horse Racing has that Ford boost. Red Racing and Evans Ross Racing both have their primary manufacturer support. Chanto Say is up here in an Inverness racing car. That team is not getting, you know, the maximum Toyota support.
But they're showing that they should get it.
Yeah.
And don't forget about the Mercedes that's here.
Well, yeah, that's Evans Ross Racing. That's the team that's getting, you know, full Merc support. There's the team with the full Toyota support, Southwest Racing, which we're seeing the 42 and the 46 battle back here. And there's the
That's why
91
Ford-
with full Ford support. 55 full Ford support.
Yeah, that 71 is looking nice and sporty. If you can actually make the inside work here, it's got to be a benefit at times. It looks like. Here they go, trying to get around the 6. Who's not letting them, not really giving them a lane.
Here comes the 23. Look at the outside.
But
We might see a
The
lead
6.
change. Yeah, the 6 is going to be on the outside, but the 23 is going to get a little bit of momentum here.
I'd watch the 26. Because if the 23 slips, I watch the 26 try to slip the middle.
Malikson will take it away at the line, so new leader, Yappy Malikson in the 23 car is now out front.
And they got it. They fully passed and now we're going after the 6.
Here comes the 26 for second.
Yeah, here's that chain passing you were talking about, how they get freight train.
23 can't get enough
That's also-
momentum off the corner here. That might let the 26 close in battle for the lead.
Yeah.
See,
Here
the
we go.
39
Oh,
has gotten by for third.
Half the
Whoa,
lead.
Chantose.
The 6 is going to have the better line. It's going to... And the 26 got it.
26 now out front.
Here. But can they pass the 6? The 6 in the preferred line is driving these drivers insane right now.
Here comes the 23 trying to get back up top. The 96 is back here as well.
Yeah, here comes the 46. Here comes everyone else.
They're going to be 3 wide for the lead again with the lap car, and they'll finally get clear of the 6 here.
Yeah. There were a couple of times during that pass I thought we're going to be wrecking for the lead.
Nah, they only wreck for last. Well, the 23 now
let's see
back
how
out front.
fast- Yeah, that 96 now seems to be struggling in traffic. Now that's the car's not leading.
Look at this. Look, we have just such a bunch of cars
55!
all kind of tangled up here. The 55 is here. Yeah, I was about to point that out. Delot is up here battling with all these cars.
And it might be passing all of them. Oh my.
Yeah, she's gonna get it.
She just passed 3 cars in 1 lap. Basically.
Rigatino for second on Chantose.
She's soon going to have her teammate behind her,
Yeah.
I would think. A car that started deep in the field got some of those positions due to the weird pit cycle we had.
Yeah, but she still restarted in like 20th. Like,
Yeah.
she wasn't exactly up front. She's had to work her way up here, but she's done it. She's up into 5th now. You see Lily Talberson for taking 3rd away.
You know what? I'll be worried for the rest of the field if the 55 gets the lead here. Because of how fast that car is. This is old tires, and that 55 is caught these group.
Yeah. They did have some trouble getting around the lap car, granted, but that's still, the 55 I do feel like is the fastest car on these longer runs.
We could have to check the lap time differences.
Yeah, they're running almost
Oh
a
my-
second off their fast laps now. They're running over a second off, actually.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not sure what's wrong with the 62. The 62 is not as fast. It's one of those cars that were on fresh tires, but hasn't gone
Well,
forward.
I mean, I guess to be fair, she was only on about, what, like 4, 5, 6 lap pressure tires,
Yeah.
something like that.
But she was also a pole sitter. That's a weird thing to think about.
I mean, to be
I-
fair,
Yeah.
being the pole sitter has kind of nothing to do with your race pace.
Yeah. As the 55 is showing.
Well, I think as well,
That
also
car-
something to point out, in the Continental Series,
Yeah.
Izzy Oberman won from last place twice.
Nice.
Because she's won twice in that series, and both times she won, she started dead last, which,
Yeah.
I don't know, a little impressive.
Yeah. No, the speed of that 55's.
Here comes the 71.
Anyone, that's another car I would give a shout out for, too.
Yeah.
The 46, it cannot get past the 6. then that's
Little
what's
might
actually
honestly
caused-
go 2 for 1 here. Look at the 71.
Yep. And actually, at the back of this line, you'll find the 62.
Yeah, the 62 is kind of just trailing this. She's kind of just, what, sitting in, what, that's 13th, I think? Yeah.
Yeah. So it might be the. Is it weird to say it might be the 71 and 55 being some of the faster cars?
I don't think that's a bad observation.
Yeah.
Although I think another observation you gotta make, the 23, Malikson. Yappy
Yeah.
is,
20.
this car is gone.
Yeah. I can't. If the 55 can get up to 23, that'll be a fun battle later in this race.
Also, yes, I'm telling you, her name is in fact Yappy.
Yappy. Is it because she's yappy over the radio?
Yeah, yes, that is literally it.
Yep.
She yaps a lot.
Yep.
46 got back by the 71,
not-
but still can't pass the lap car, which is her teammate.
I would imagine some colorful language is happening under the headset, the helmet right now.
I mean, whatever it is, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, same.
But Yappy Malikson, the Australian driver, out front in Phoenix. I mean, I guess it makes sense that an Australian's, you know, this far out at front in the desert.
Yeah, makes sense.
Maybe that's a little bit low-hanging fruit, but she's just looked very fast pretty much this whole run. I think this 23 might honestly be one of the better long-run cars right now. But I think the best thing about this Phoenix is that, you know, we've seen lots of changes for the lead in a series where it's the ratings are pretty equal. It's pretty closely set for most of these cars. I mean, some of these cars do have a little bit of a boost, but
Yeah.
there's been a lot of passing. It's been actually quite a fun race to watch.
Yeah. Remind me, what's our fuel mileage?
I believe it's about 85 laps, something like that.
So, with that caution, maybe 90, because we're looking at 85.
Yeah, maybe 90.
Window.
If I had to guess, I feel like the cars that came in on that caution, considering how little gain they've gotten, will probably come in around the same time as everyone else. Just because,
No,
you know, the longer you stay out, and we saw this in the Continental race, the 95 tried the overcut, and she was almost 10 seconds back. And speaking of
cut zone on pit road.
31, Kapperman trying to undercut
That's
the field
not a
here.
mechanical issue.
That is not mechanical. That is scheduled.
So this could be a 4 or 5 stop race.
And she wasn't that far back out of the top. I think she was pretty close to the top 10.
She's gonna be fun. This is a major, depending how fast her pit stop is, this could be fun to see that car on track. And I will point out, 39 for a second, because the 23 is gone.
I think Lily Talberson needs the closer nickname just because she just kind of shows up at the end every week.
Yeah.
Very good at doing that. Also in like basically all my test races, when she would win, she would always do it in like the very last few laps.
So, did the car come out pit road?
Yeah, I think so.
What number is she?
Oh, there's she. There we go.
There she-
31's out now.
This
think
should be an interesting ride.
She might have been stuck in one of those corner stalls.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just waiting to see her get on track, because this is decently fresh tires. This is gonna be.
Well, yeah,
fun.
this is what, 70 lap fresher tires? She merged out right by
Yeah.
the leaders too.
Yeah, this is where if you can make the low line working fresh tires, it's gonna help. Because since everyone's gonna want to run like that high line in the corners.
Had to check up exiting 4.
Yep.
But I mean, yeah, you're gonna see it right here. Here's where the tires
Yeah,
really settle in.
Especially here in 3 and 4, 1 and 2, because how flat it is. That's where you need like that extra grip. What the 39? Oh my god! Continuing trying to block the 31.
Yeah, look at how fast, look at how much more mid-corner
Yeah.
speed she can carry.
Also, I have this weird suspicion we get a caution during the pit cycle, just because how fast new tires are. Yeah. That 31 should catch the 23 pretty quickly once they get past the 96.
Yeah. We got a battle back here. That's for 4th. Chantose is going to take it from Delad.
Yep, it looks like tires are hampering the 55's advances. But gonna be in an excellent position when they come to pit road. Hopefully the pit crews are well ready for these guys who have yet to pit once. How many laps down is the 31, anyways?
3 down.
And the 6 is being a nuisance.
Sky is blue.
By the way, it looks like a caution. It looks like a caution flag right now in 1 and 2, because how slow they're going.
You say it looks like a caution flag, but they're side by side, basically everywhere.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like a caution flag to me.
No,
Oh yeah,
no, it's
look at
the
how fast
space.
this 31 is. She's almost a second quicker than the 23 per lap. She's already caught up to her.
Yeah, and but something about the 23's pace. Look ahead.
That's the 2 of Ijavida. Yeah, she's caught up to that car.
Yeah, the pace she is setting is interesting.
It's impressive.
This will be interesting. 3 cars on 3 different laps.
Oh, the 55
Oh,
has
the
had a
55.
major
Commentator's
failure.
curse. Commentator's freaking curse.
Took a while, but there it is.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
God, the talk in the pre-race show about mechanical failures being a thing in this series.
Well, she makes it to pit road, so we are gonna stay green. But I mean,
for how much longer?
she is absolutely gonna be done for the day.
And disappointed because she had one of those, probably one of the cars that could catch this 23 at some point.
Yeah.
But this mess, oh my god.
Yeah, they're still stuck behind the 6. The only car that's gotten around the 6 of this group is actually the 71 of Little.
And Little's now in what we call no man's land.
There's Yukovic is actually up into the 6th or the 9th position. So hey, the season 2's made up some ground.
Hey, are you sure the pace car driver hasn't gotten into 6?
No, because they're all side by side behind.
Yeah. That no one's been able to pass the 6s. What do you think some of the drivers are thinking? That while trying to pass the 6.
Get out of my way.
Yeah. This is also where you find the 62 and the 46. The 46 is fallen off enough that they've fallen all the way back here.
Look at how high the 91 just went.
Yeah. Let's see if the 40. That's not. That might.
Ooh.
42. Ooh, yeah. 80, 82. It might soon look like a caution flag with all of them ducking the pit road.
Yeah.
If they all hit at the same time. But yeah, that 6 car has changed the complexity of this race.
I think she just pitted. Yeah, she did. Russia, what's up on the 55? You got anything about that car?
Yeah, the 55 looks like it was a gearbox problem on that car. Yeah, when the car came in, when the car pulled into the pit stop that was smoking pretty badly. And yeah, the team checked in on it and saw that the transmission was just completely shot on that. So that's going to be the end of their race. And we're starting to see a couple of cars coming in now. Maybe starting to get that pit strategy coming in. We saw the 31 came in, managed to talk to their crew chief before stopping by the 55. It appears that their plan here is just kind of pull off the short stop, the short pit strategy here. Kind of try to split what would be a typical run, into pieces. Or maybe try to get a big undercut. As we see a couple other cars coming in. So maybe a couple cars are going to come in as a response to that. I'll make sure to check back on some of these pit crews as well. Back to you.
That's AWSCO and Gennaro that just came in.
Yeah. Those two were racing side by side into pit road, by the way.
I guess every position matters. 82,
Oh, here
3.
come 3. Ready for some interesting
There's the 6.
speed? The 6 on fresh tires.
The 6 is on fresh tires.
That's gonna look like Superman suddenly, and the 23 is gonna go, what the? About to go, what the? What? The 6 is catching me?
Yeah, 6 is really moving there. I think the 23's pitting.
Coming.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
23's coming to pit road. So is the 96. 39's going to stay out.
Yeah.
So she'll lead a lap. 26 stays out.
We got a lot of cars on pit road. Yeah, holy cow, a lot. Yeah, it looks like it's... Get those 4 feel goods, as someone would say.
Yeah, tires are gone now. You're trying to cut loose ends here, basically.
Yeah.
'62 trying to get around the 91 here. I think at this point, we might start seeing some cars start setting fastest laps. Just because now the tires are fresh. This is when you're going to see fastest laps start being turned. 72's in. 91 just came to pit road. 46. 22 just came in.
Yeah, we're also in that awkward part where everyone is praying no caution.
39 and 26 have just come to pit road.
Yep. 62, I think is...
Staying out.
Yeah. Oh, this will be part of that, 20... That big group, that stayed.
That pitted, yeah. Russia, what's up on the 23 stop?
Pretty standard set of adjustments for the 23. They made some air pressure adjustments to make the car turn a little bit better in the middle of the corners. Just saw a little bit of contact there between the 23 and 96. They were racing out of pit lane. I think should be for the net lead, but yeah. 23 was just getting a little bit of mostly just handling adjustments for the 23, but otherwise Mounson's pretty happy with the car so far. Back to you.
I actually think the 42 has jumped them both.
We'll see. We gotta let this whole entire thing cycle.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But wow, that
You
was
might be
that
right.
was interesting. The 23 ran into the 96 on
Getting up to speed. Yeah.
yeah,
There's a
62's
62
in.
in the pit.
That's gonna leave the lead down to the 15 of Tolaron. '26 and 39 are out.
Where's the 15 right now?
I saw her earlier. There she is.
Yeah.
Coming in this time. Byrne Vebels will follow. This is the next car as a Jarsaraj.
I'm thinking we might have a surprise leader.
Yeah, I think the 42 might have jumped these cars, but I'm not sure.
It's right now, we're in this awkward moment. Yeah, there's not many cars on the lead lap right now. I know the 62 might have done something.
I don't think so, because she was like way back. Yeah, there she is.
That's the 62.93. That's a battle. That's currently a battle for 9 is the leader.
The 9 car is scored as the leader, but she's still coming out of pit road right now.
What's interesting, where's the 99?
Just past her.
That would be our leader then. No, the 9 has a nearly a lap lead on everybody.
Well, that's because the 9 crossed her. The 9 crossed the 62?
It's a 62. Yeah.
Ah.
93.
Did she maybe only...
60.
Huh. That is really strange. I'm wondering how they made up that much
Oh.
time.
Yeah. They also might. They were. Remember the 23. The 23's 10th.
They all took 4 tires. So,
Yeah. And by the way, you know where you find the 23? Behind all the cars that like hit it early. It looks like. Those cars that pitted during the at first.
during the caution, yeah.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
So there's your battle for the lead, and it incorporates a bunch of these cars, including the 64.
64, who came into this race as the points leader. Okay, so yeah, the 62, Yukovic is back out front. That is a odd pit cycle. I'm not sure how she got the lead. Did the 23 and...
They probably had issue.
I'm curious, yeah, is it maybe the 23 and 96 just had a really slow exit or something?
No, the in lap and out lap. Yeah, they must have had a really bad in lap and out lap.
Yeah, the 42 is actually a lap down right now.
Yeah.
In fact, I believe the 42 is the first car 1 lap down. And there's the 6.
This is a very interesting situation right now.
Yeah, I admittedly, I am not exactly sure how they were able to make that stick.
It's also how I don't even see the 96 in the top 10.
96 is back into 13th.
They're 13th.
Jeez.
What the 9 bypassed them during the pit cycle.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of is that must have been
Yeah,
an
there's
issue
the 15.
an issue with exiting pit road. Yeah, there's the 15.
Yeah. Yeah. Like all the cars that were like ahead. Uh, that this. I'm guessing that pit stall that first pit stall on pit road benefited the 62.
Where did
Shout out to the
Tosima
62's
start?
picker.
Oh, so the 42 is trying to pass all of these cars. Where did the
Yeah,
where did the 93 start? She started in 17th, so
Yeah. Good job on their picker. You know who where's the 71? Where's Abby Little?
back in 20th right now. There she
We
is.
got a car coming down pit road.
That's the 17. She's off cycle and damaged, so that's why.
Yeah,
Remember, she pitted after the caution came out on the last run.
right.
Is
Oh,
it 26?
there they are passing. Oh, that's the 21. That's the down on power 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 21's clearly out on power. Yeah, it's. So yeah, this whole entire group here is the battle for the lead.
Yes. Well, the 62 is kind of clear of all of them, but yes, it is
Yeah.
effectively the battle for the lead.
Yeah. Meanwhile, 4 seconds back is where you'll find the 23 trying to deal with the 27 and 44.
The 99, yeah.
99.
Marisha Vebelst. And Malix is going to try to get to her outside.
Nah, I just looked at. Yeah, yeah, and I'm just looking at some of the chatter from some of our pit reporters. Yeah, what an overcut! That is a perfect way to say it.
What is going on here? Here comes the 64 Nihil. Nihil takes second. So now Atlantic Racing makes up the top 2 positions, which is something I don't think anybody really expected to see here. But they're also,
Yeah.
in the mix with a bunch of these lappers. That's 3 lap cars going side by side right there.
Yeah, watch
in
out
front
for
of
the one.
in front of second place.
Yeah. Oh, and they're bouncing off each other. The 42 bounced off the one briefly right there. Ooh.
This is really good racing. I'm enjoying this quite a bit, and we still have 200 more laps left of this one.
Wait, we still have 2 more pit stops.
At least.
At least. Yeah.
Here comes the
Who
16
would've
up the high
thought?
side.
Yeah. Echo, who would have thought our lone caution right now is a wreck on lap 5?
Honestly, I'm not like
We've got a
ultra
pretty-
surprised that we haven't had a lot of yellows. In the 16 of Angetta,
100 green. Yeah, 16 just got ahead. It's now second.
she's gonna actually clear the 6 here now. So,
On the low line,
yeah.
Ogre. It seems that it seems like drivers are trying to really make the low line work because all the lap cars are been running that preferred.
Yeah. Interesting as well to point out, 72 Janet Parkings is in 5th now.
Yeah.
The 46 of Yanaga is actually a lap down. So is the 20, I believe. Then it's the 18 of
20.
Alicantes, who won last week, and Marisha Vebelst, who was battling her for the win last week. 6th and 7th right now.
And by the way, you'll find the 23 and 9th.
Yeah, there has to have been an incident on pit road or something that happened to the 23 because
we
I
know, we
'cause the
know
what?
the 23 and 96 hit each other.
the 60. Well, yeah, but there has to be like some kind of issue like that happened entering their pit stall or exiting their pit stall because What, they were about, like, what, 15 seconds up on the rest of the field coming into that stop?
Yeah.
And now the rest of the field is well ahead of them, so...
Unless for some reason the overcut just works with these guys better. Or the 62 just... I'm starting to think the 62 was able to exit pit road with clear track.
Well, yeah, but that shouldn't
For a couple
that
laps.
shouldn't explain making up, what, 15 seconds on a pit cycle?
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah,
that's,
and then
that's,
coming
you know,
in.
that's wild. Like... That,
Yeah,
I
I'm
feel
trying-
like there had to be some sort of issue or incident on pit road.
Yeah. Something tells me it might have been. Who knows? It might have been the 23 and 96 might have had a coming together. That could also explain the exit moment. Yeah,
That's true.
it happened.
That could be it. I would go
Also,
check,
the
but we are
23
still under green.
By the way, also the 23 just fell out of the top 10.
Yeah, the 15 and the 13 both just got by her.
Yeah, there's some interesting. Oh, that's also where you find the 26. Yeah, both of
26
them.
is here as well.
Oh my! What? Why were we about to go 5 wide? It's cars on the apron.
Why
We still
not?
might go 5 wide. We still. Oh my.
I mean, they're
You know
trying
what?
their
I'm-
hardest to cause an it. They're
Wreck.
trying their hardest to wreck right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Stop. Unless it's
What?
what?
Okay,
Okay.
it's fine. Yeah, don't worry about it. Oh,
Phoenix
okay.
is melting.
All right, the scorecard is gone. It's fine.
Phoenix is melting. Okay.
Actually, all the graphics have disappeared.
Yeah.
Wait, can I click
And
anything?
You have
Oh, I
the
can.
pause button.
I do have the pause button.
Yeah, you might want to pause right now because we are in a. Gotta love BBMC tracks.
Can I get an export? Can I find where the export button is? Does anybody know where the export button is? I think tabbing out will crash the game.
You gotta go further left. Yeah, further left. Much further left. It's near the corner. Like how I said, near the corner.
Hopefully.
Did I actually just save it?
Just sort by
The only
date.
way to check it.
I did!
No?
Brain delay.
Oh, there it goes.
That's not it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I tabbed out, but it crashed the game, so...
Did we remember our lap? like I'm
Also,
one of
it did
five.
not. Also, it did not save
No, no,
because
there's H2. There's the other one. That one was saved like 2 minutes ago.
Wait, it was?
Yeah, that one. That one's on. Wait, no, that's from last. Nah, never mind.
That's from 2024. We made it up. I mean, I could just grab the thing. All right, Rasha, Arena, can you guys do rainfill right now?
Hang on.
Hello? Did you guys hear me?
I got you.
Yes, can you do rainfill right now? Okay.
I heard you. I heard you. I was opening my dryer. It was beeping very
Fair enough,
loudly.
fair enough.
Should,
All right, we're under rain delay here in Phoenix. Those two don't usually go together, but it does happen on occasion. You know, I mean, as you saw, visibility became very, very low on track, and they pulled the cars off. Our camera crew is currently working on getting prepared because this really came out of nowhere. These kind of sudden showers. They happen sometimes. It's pretty dangerous. We're very grateful that we didn't have any issues with the drivers. So red flag is out. Teams are going to have a chance to work on their cars and get them all ready for another run here once the rain clears and we get the track tried, which thankfully the rain was pretty light. Actually the rain was pretty heavy, but it didn't last very long. So you know, this is definitely a bit of a spur of the moment thing. So we're up here in the booth. I'm actually managed to get over here to speak with Data in person after the rain started. How are you doing?
doing good. Wacky racing, including the wacky overcut. Holy cow, that overcut!
Yeah, Halas Jukovic and that whole like that whole team Atlantic Racing, they did something
Yeah.
really special there. The pole sitter
Oh,
back up to the front.
or something happened with the 23 and 96 coming to pit road because they ended up really far behind.
See, I would agree, but there was a lot of cars that went with those two that are now running very far back. I mean,
Yeah.
what happened to the 42, or what happened to a few of
They must
those
have
other
had to.
cars that
Yeah, yeah,
it was just a wild pit cycle. And I mean, I was there to help commentate and report on the Continental Series race, and what was consistent there was the overcut really didn't work all that well. The undercut was definitely the move with how high tire wear was. Tire wear is
Yep.
still decent here, but I don't think anybody expected the overcut to work for basically everybody that took it. It was just an insane inversion of the field.
yeah. And I feel bad for the 55. They ended up blowing. I heard they ended up blowing their motor or gearbox. Was it?
Yeah, they lost it. They lost the gearbox, which very unfortunate for Bria Delot, who was our pick, and she was
Yeah.
definitely showing out. Um,
Yeah.
but had engine issues, and
Yeah.
we hopefully will see her come back stronger
Yeah.
next week.
I guess what's funny is that the leader for the restart is still our pole sitter because of the whole entire pit cycle.
Yeah, with teams able to like get their cars back in working order under the red flag, we're basically gonna have a fresh start at this race. And the driver at the front hasn't
16,
changed.
we have the 16 in second.
Sky and Jetta, glad to see her her kind of pulling it together after a pretty gnarly wreck that kind of sidelined her for a little bit there. We saw Vinny Schultz and another driver sub in. I think it was Scouseby, sub in for the 16 team, and
Yeah.
it was. I mean, that's tough for any driver to deal with, but to see her up here, and now she's gonna get to start on the outside for this second part of the race, and I think it's going to be a nice confidence booster for sure that whole
Yeah,
team.
fresh tires. They're gonna get the actually come back down pit road and fuel the cars back up.
It definitely is going to equalize strategy because everybody's going to be coming back on with a full fuel tank and fresh tires. So
But
uh,
what's gonna cause the strategy to be a little bit more weird? Look
it
at
could.
the
We're
because we're
definitely
gonna be. We only have like 200 something laps to go.
well. I mean, if things go as to plan, we saw the pit cycle start around 70 or so laps. So depending on how it goes, we have a potential struggle for pace going at the end of the runs. But I think as far as fuel, everybody should be good as
Yeah.
long as pit stops are on schedule. Looks like we're getting updates from AWSCO as far as the drivers and where they'll be running upon the restart.
Oh
So it looks
yeah, it looks
like
like the 42 is going to be a lap down.
yeah,
The
Mega
one, the 20.
Gennaro, Alicia Vancy, that is the Gabriella, is that I think? The 40 Bien Fianaga, and the 6 that is Johnny McJasmina will all be given a honorary wave around. They'll get their lap back.
Yeah.
The looks like Amani Wandayo, Alicia, Dira Reister, are both going to be one lap down, and the 38, that's Youngwei Ku, is going to be scored at 3 laps down on the start. As of right now, we have 3 drivers who have retired from the race, and they are not eligible to rejoin, even if they can repair their cars at this point. Those are Bria Delade in the 55, Lori Schliesenbach in the number 8, and the 32 of Cindy Ariston. So that is
Yeah.
our current status for the field.
Yeah. Also, something I realized: the car that pitted super early is gonna the 31 who started the cycle on like lap 67. Was it?
Yeah, it was 68, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They're gonna have one of the biggest benefits because they're gonna have to pit soon again.
Yeah, so they're actually gonna get they're gonna benefit a lot from the strategy being equalized, and they'll be on equal footing after and also having more time to get their car their damage fixed from that early wreck and everything working. That's a big benefit too to Gianni McJasmine, who took quite the shot earlier today.
Nope.
In the rain shower, the dryers are working overtime right now, and it looks like a couple of them are coming off the track, so we are very close to the start of this race once again.
Yeah, we're getting the signals that drivers need to come. Drivers come back into their cars here. We're gonna get to start pretty soon. I think we just have to get the confirmation from.
There is the call from race control. Drivers are coming out to their vehicles. We are getting ready to get this race restarted. So with that, we'll go ahead and send you back to the main booth. Thank you for, or I guess I'm going to leave and you guys are going to get to commentate. Cars are rolling now. Best of luck, Data and Echo.
Thank you.
Yeah,
187 to go.
So, yeah, we're going to be back to yellow here for the start here, just so that we get a single file restart. Davison and Reister, 1 lap down. Ku is 3 laps down. The Davison, Reister, and Wandayo are 1 lap down, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is so we can get a single file restart. The pace car will be back out. Will be yellow for a few laps just to give. Yes, they'll sort out.
Okay. This is always something I've been a little nervous about. Because we could see some damage, we could see some shenanigans.
Don't worry, the pace car will phase through all of them.
Yeah, we have new Spirit pace car technology. What's the 50? Oh no! We got cars coming to pit road.
The 60's in, the 3 is in, the 1 is in, the 6 is in. I guess it makes sense for the 6 to come in. They're already at the back. Might as well.
Yeah.
But yes, they'll get sorted out. eventually.
That was just a stop and go on pit road.
I think the pit road was closed actually, so I think that's why they didn't. I think that's why they got forced into pit road by the stack up there. So I think that's why they just stop and go. I think pit road was closed.
Yeah.
Well, we're never gonna know how that why that undercut played out.
Yeah. So, are we gonna drop the guys a lap down, or what's the plan?
Yeah, I'm gonna lap minus them once we take the green.
Sounds good. There was a car still on pit road for a while.
Is there?
Yeah. I thought there was
Where?
one. I saw a car parked. I saw a car parked that decided to be on. Check the time. The pit. Okay, never mind. I thought I saw something. It looks like we're getting the rest of the field caught back up.
Yep. So
That the
fortunately we are gonna go back green. We were before the halfway point, so
just.
well, what halfway is 156, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I talked about this over the rain delay. Cars that damage got benefited big from this, and also the 31. Remember how they pitted early?
yeah.
They're now back on strategy.
Oh, the
my
92. Michele Yatsika.
goodness.
Well, an unfortunate break for that car.
Yeah. Oh, it's cool.
Well, the lights are gonna go out here.
Yeah. I guess we'll. Do we want to go to the pit crew for the 92 or no?
Well, we're waiting for the signal. So Yukovic, Anjeta, Nihale, Stoneman, Tosima, Garnston, Marino, Talberson, Vancy, and Parkings will be the top 10. As we're
you're-
set to get back to the green flag from Phoenix.
The 1 is 9th, and you're going to have to lap down them.
Right.
That's weird.
No, the
This
one
is gonna
did
be a
get.
weird
No, the
race.
one got their lap back. The one got their lap back. It's the 22-20. It's the 22-21-17 that are a lap down.
Ah, okay. Yo. No. 22 cent. That one. Yeah.
It's
just
because
saw
I
it.
said one
You're-
lap
you're-
down. That's why. All right, green flag.
Yeah. Remember, yep, we're green. You're going to let them cross the line.
Whoa, the 10. I think got a penalty.
Restart. We had 5
Ooh,
guys get a
6
restart
cars.
violation.
99, 82, and 42.
Oh.
Yes, the 38 is 3 down. So
Yeah, I saw that. Also, you lapped down the 22.
yes. Yes, the
They're
22
not a
is.
lap down.
Yes, they are. I just forgot to type it out in the message.
Ah, okay. It looks like someone wants to do the Nefriesen. Renna?
Rena, what's up?
Hi, so the 92, Michele Yatica actually did not retire from the race. The
Yes, she
team
did.
opened up the hood.
Yes, she did.
Where? Oh, okay, she had a pit out. I'm sorry. Okay, well, looks like the 92 had a much similar issue to the 55 earlier. Gearbox issue. That's the second of the race. Completely different team and completely different engine package. This time coming from Toyota. So Michele Yatica, they brought it in. Looks like that thing just it just got stuck in third gear, and it is not gonna move. Thing is completely shattered from the inside after talking to the team. So they've retired the car, and Yatica is out and about, and does not look very happy.
These cars made normal pit stops exiting the pit road. I'm not sure if it was a penalty. 31 is in. It's probably fine.
Yeah, there's no reason to do this unless they were topping off to try to split it in one.
Maybe.
Since it's supposed to be a two-stop race, but I guess there is a slight way if the cautions fall
Well,
right,
you
then
know.
you could actually split this in one.
So, you know, we had that one stop before the red flag. We had the stop during the red flag, since the teams are allowed to make adjustments.
Yeah. 187 is in a weird amount of laps. What?
Well, they should two-stop it from here.
Yeah.
Because the window's about 80 laps. So, 85 laps. So that might actually be a... They actually pitted around 88 last time, so this might actually be a one-stopper. Since that would put them at 190.
Close.
That would put them at 190 if they were to go 85 twice.
Yeah, if they can make it.
Actually, that's a lie. 85 twice would not put them at 190. I don't know what I'm talking about. That would put them at 170. So yes, this would be a two-stopper.
Yeah. Also, that's with that 5-lap that caution for the guys who stayed out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they could be pitting sooner. But yeah. Oh, this last stop could be with 2 tires. The second stop could be with 2 tires.
It could, but I think that would be a bad idea.
Even with just 17 or like 10 to go.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen how fast the cars that have new tires have been when they have full fresh tires?
Yeah. Also, I think about fresh air. Because it's also showing.
I mean, yeah, but the fresher tires override that clean air, like you saw with the 31 on the last run. She was flying by when she took tires, you know, like 10 laps before everyone else.
But we'll also need to see how big that lead ends up being.
It's 2.2 seconds for Yukovic right now.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, we should keep an eye on this 23 because I bet they're mad right now.
Oh yeah. Oh totally.
Yeah. 96 is also a bit ways back now.
Yeah, Rigatino's slipped back to 18th now.
'99 trying to run the high.
She's gonna get by, but she's also a lap down because she came to pit road with the 10. Those two are actually 3 laps down.
Yeah, because you actually lose a couple laps on pit road here.
Yeah.
That's also why, like, 2 tires could. You're actually gonna being out on the track more. I know it slows you, but you actually seem to gain a lot while you're stuck on pit road.
Shout out Ava Azharsaraj in the 98 car. She's in 10th now.
Yep. like you said, we have 2 stops and a lot of this race left.
Yeah. And I mean, we've only had one incident related to yellow in this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, and we haven't had an incident since the start of this run.
Yeah, I mean, well, the yellow was for rain, so
Yeah, that's the only wreck.
the only wreck was at lap, what, like 5? Something like that?
Yeah, 5 or 6, yeah. '62. Still a shout out to that crew chief. For somehow pulling off that wacky pit, that overcut.
Yeah, we're never gonna know because I was never able to get the replay saved, but
Yeah.
I just very curious as to how she even got that spot, just because I just don't feel like she would gain that much time normally.
Yeah. Even with that pit box.
No, absolutely not. There had to have been something that happened.
Yeah.
The 23 of Malixon is, moving up through the field again. She's battling with the 27 right now. That's Nietzsche Garnston. Garnston is pretty solid at these kind of tracks. She nearly won at Bathurst, and, I would say a flat road course kind of counts.
Yeah. This track kind of races like a road course in a weird
Yeah,
way.
well, it's got 2 completely different ends of the track.
And you could think about them like doing the shortcut, like hitting the curbs at a road course too.
Just for a key here, if you're looking
Yeah.
for the amount of laps that this race currently has, add 124 to whatever that number says on the left.
Oh, so we're approaching halfway.
Yeah, we're at lap 147
Yes.
right now.
Yeah. Funny enough, I've actually been to the one time I went to Phoenix. It chose to rain. Actually,
Hey, at least we got this race restarted.
Yeah.
Sky and Jetta. I mean, I still want to give Jetta a shout out here, just because she's second right now. Coming off her injury, she had a herniated disc at Fontana. Didn't run at Willow Springs. Maya Shelby drove the car there. She ran most of the race last week because we had we had such a long green run to start the race.
Yeah.
She's running second now.
Yeah, she's part of that pit strategy. That bizarre pit strategy.
Yeah, she got up here and she's running very well still.
But right now, we're dealing with a very different restart. 62 has done something I don't think we were expecting.
What, driven away? I mean, to be fair, she kind of did drive away on that last run, but also,
Not to like almost a 5-second lead.
That's true. Although she also had a lot of lap cars in her way, from what I remember.
Yeah. Wow.
She's gonna have another lap car in her way right there. There's the 82 of Yuria. Here's 3 wide for second as Tosima tries to power by all of these cars.
Yeah, you see the 90. Yeah.
The 93.
Places. Yeah. Teammates in 10th.
Yeah, her teammate Halverson in 10th. Carly Byrne is in 14th right now.
Yeah. That 9 was part of that, like, it has led a lap.
Yeah.
Because I think they led during the pit cycle.
Also, what's going to be fun is that because of the crash and I wasn't able to get an export, That means I'm going to have to go
Yeah.
back through all 118 of those laps and score the lap leader manually.
Oh, no.
At least I have a video.
Yeah, at least the 62 is making this restart easy.
Well, I don't have to score this one. That's the problem.
Yeah.
The problem is I have to score it from the last run.
Yeah, that's gonna be annoying. How are you gonna score the glitch? Like 5 or 10
Well, the
laps
62
glitch
didn't lose.
through?
The 62 didn't. The 62 led all of those laps.
Oh,
But
led
also
up
the
to
5
glitch,
laps
too.
that I'm gonna do, it's just gonna be that the 62 led.
Okay.
Well, Yukovic, well out front.
Yeah. Really
Tosin
in
is
cruise
second.
control.
Yeah. Well, now
Not really
she's
trying
kind of
to get
stuck
past-
behind the 82 here.
Yeah. But the 93 is stuck behind the 99.
I don't even know if she's really stuck. The 99 passed the 16, like, on pace.
Yeah.
Like, the 99's very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, the 93 actually gained time.
Yeah.
So, it's Yukovic, Tosima, and Jetta, Nihale, Garnston, Malikson, Parkings, Jarsaraj, Vancy, and Telberson. I mean, Felicia Vancy's done a great job as well. Recovered from being a lap down, and now she's up into 9th place. Like,
Ahead of one of the cars that were leading, or that lead group.
yeah.
The fall-offs is the 46-96. Those two were up here, and now they're struggling.
20th and 21st now, yeah. And I mean, remember the 46 also had to get waved around.
Yeah.
Got waved around under the red flag.
Also, shout out to the 6. They got the car fixed. They look okay.
They got the car fixed. Unfortunately, she's
Yeah.
still just as slow.
Yeah.
21's also gotten their
Yeah.
engine fixed. Unfortunately,
So
she's
slow.
still just as slow.
Yeah. But hey, at least they're not like missing parts.
Yeah.
That lead is fluctuate. The 93 sometimes gains some, sometimes loses some.
Yeah, she lost time there. I mean, it's stable now. That's the thing is, you
Yeah.
know, it's very stable. It's at 6 seconds right now. But it's very much stable.
That's-
It's not really moving anywhere. But I mean,
Yeah, those.
I don't
those
know
two
if
might be cruising.
I don't know if I feel very safe if I'm the 62 and I have this big of a lead, because in the Continental race, Izzy Oberman, you know, in 20 laps had like a 5-second lead, and then she blew up.
Yeah. And you're running behind a car. You're heating up your engine faster right now.
Yeah, that's just dirty. That's just that dirty air just messing with her.
Yeah. I will say it's like this top like 5 or so are literally gapping because it's the 7th is like half a track behind, I think. Tempe.
Where is
9th and 10th
Nancy?
almost-
There she is. Yeah, that's a big gap.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be worried if I'm the 23.
34
Oh,
is on pit road.
That's a wheel. Oh.
That car, well, we'll see.
This one gets that.
We'll see if we can get a follow-up on that. But for
Yeah.
Mika Harina,
Ouch.
she's had to come down pit road here.
This one's her split it interestingly. Oddly.
Rena, what's up on Harina?
Yeah, over here on pit road, actually got to take the tunnel over after leaving the booth. It's pretty nice. Goes right underneath turn 4 to get to the infield. By the time I made it over there, we had a couple things happen, but the 34, Mika Harina, had a vibration that lasted a few laps. They decided not to pit, and then the tire blew. So definitely a miscalculation on the part of the 34. That hoping that doesn't cause too much damage to the car. But Mika Harina is going to come back. She's going to be missing a couple laps. You see her exiting pit road now, as far as I can tell. But yeah, I mean, tough for the Atlantic Racing driver, especially given how well her teammates are doing today.
Yeah, for Harina, her teammates, Nihal's running 4th, and Jukovic is the leader right now.
Yeah. I would like to point out, if we go green, she gets to split this really interestingly.
So we are at
one more time, she makes it.
We are past halfway. It is lap
Yeah.
166 at the moment. So in a moment here, that means we're going to begin our FanDuel Fan Studio mid-race report. And I assume Retta and Russia are gearing up for that in the studio as we speak. What do you two have for us down there?
Hi, thank you, Echo. Welcome back to the studio for our mid-race report here. I'm joined back with Rena. Hello, you there, Rena?
Yeah,
There.
I'm on my way. I'm calling in, coming back from the 34 pit box.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the race has been interesting so far. It feels a little bit different looking at it from the infield where I've been most of today. Kind of walking around pit road, talking to teams, and a lot of them are absolutely baffled as far as strategy goes. Now that everybody's kind of on equal footing, they're wondering if that overcut that the 62 managed to pull off was more of a fluke, or if that's really going to be the better strategy to pull. As a result, a lot of teams are hesitant to pit, but you've seen some take the risk. A couple different drivers, some of them not by choice. You look at like the 34 for that. For example, I'll be right there at the booth. Give me like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, we saw with the first green flag pit cycle, it really didn't seem to matter whether or not you were taking the undercut or whether or not you were taking the undercut, despite the how much how important tires are at this track, and we saw drivers like the 31 of Taylor Happerman take tires early and gain seconds at a time, but it doesn't seem to matter that much. We saw the 62 of Jukovic, hold her lead, retain the lead, I should say, at the end of that pit cycle anyway. She was one of the last cars to come in, so I wonder if these teams are now looking at kind of the finer details of the pit strategy. Maybe you have to, we mentioned, I think the booth mentioned the in lap and the out lap. Maybe that is going to be an important part of getting the best out of these green flag pit cycles. And of course, it's all going to be on the pit crews as well. Having a good pit stop is paramount to having a good pit cycle. And we're starting to see with this long run again, kind of that same stretching out of the field, stretching out of the field. The field's becoming more spread out. We're seeing 7.8 seconds. It's growing just ever so slightly here, but yeah, it's actually a little bit further spread out than it was at this point in time in the Continental race.
Yeah, especially, well, I mean, I guess if you look at the Continental race and how long they actually ran, it isn't too similar to that point in the race, or too dissimilar. But obviously the Cup car is running quite a bit longer. I think it's pretty interesting, but I'm not surprised to see the 62 able to pull out so far. I mean, the 16 hasn't really had the pace and kind of led that second group for most of this run. I'm surprised to see Nihil struggling so much, but I mean Tosima up there in second hasn't really been able to match the 62, who spent a lot of time in clean air, and you know and obviously 62 of Yukovic managed to, that's our Daytona 500 winner, and I feel like she was definitely due for a better run given the struggles that team has had this year, and I feel like they definitely showed up today. Whatever adjustments they made under the red flag really paid off.
Yeah, and in the pre-race show, we mentioned the importance that setups would have on the way these cars race over the long run, and I think what we're probably seeing is kind of just that effect working its way with that 62 as they just continue to pull out the gap on the 93 of Tosama. So yeah, I wouldn't be entirely surprised if we're starting to see if we're seeing that same effect where the 62 just has a very good setup and they're able to drive just that much better than everyone else in the field right now.
Yeah, it's definitely the part of the race where you're seeing crew chiefs and teams kind of throw whatever they can at the wall, at the car to make it run better, and it works for some, and it definitely works against them for others. But I think as we get the race, as we get towards the end of the race, we'll start to see these teams kind of tighten up their setups and use what they've learned to kind of put themselves in good position. I guess the question for a lot of them is, is the 62 only going to get better, or is leading going to lead that team to getting complacent? Because clearly she's got something, but I mean, we're looking at the timing charts right now, and it looks like Tosima has gained nearly 7/10 in the last 3 laps. So, I mean,
Yeah, Tosama's
62
been
is not
pulling in.
unbeatable.
Yeah, Tosama's been pulling in that gap a little bit now. But yeah, we saw a similar situation, I think, with the two of Rachel Ramos in yesterday's race, where they were pretty clearly the best car, but even with that, she wasn't able to. Yeah, I should say she wasn't able to take the win with that gap because we had a flurry of late cautions, and that's definitely something that these teams are going to be looking out for, and going to be making adjustments to in terms of how their car handles, because I think on the short run you definitely want your car to be extremely quick and kind of just take as much out from the equipment as possible in that short amount of time. So yeah, that's definitely the X factor that can throw a wrench in this race, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess as far as pit strategy, I'm wondering what teams are going to try that kind of overcut move, or if, say, like Yukovic, with the lead that she has, she might be able to get away with doing the safer route and not trusting if that was maybe a fluke occurrence and whether she was able to get out that far ahead. I think it's really going to show where the crew chiefs' heads are at, whether they're willing to take that risk and bet on what seemed to be a big gamble at the time that really paid off for Yukovic and Jetta and a couple of those other cars. But I mean, we've also seen like drivers like Malixon running in 5th right now, managed to race their way back through the field. I wonder if, they might play the safe route, thinking that their car has something that they can build on.
Yeah, Malixon looked very quick in the opening part of the race, but as we saw in that green flag pit cycle, she fell back a little bit. Kind of fell victim to that overcut that we saw the rest of the field do on her. She fell back to the end of the top 10, but she's kind of just been stuck in that 5th to 10th zone since the rest of the race, I think. But I think she's definitely still has a little bit of a couple of tricks up her sleeve, and while making up an 11.5-second gap might be a little bit difficult in 1 or 2 stops. We're still expecting a 2-stop, but you never know. It's not entirely impossible with the way the strategies pan out at this track, I think.
And certainly not with how cars tend to evolve on this track. It's very unpredictable how the surface and how the setups will evolve over time. It's really hard to create a well-balanced setup that is fast on both the short and the long run. And oftentimes you'll be driving in one of these cars, and you'll be 60 laps into a run and you hit lap 61 and suddenly you're 4/10 slower than you were the lap before, and there's no real discernible cause, at least not in the data. So it's definitely tough, and you expect to see kind of those leads start to fluctuate. You know, as cars go on, the longer the run, you know, when is the car gonna fall off? I guess that's really the question. So
Yeah.
I guess going through the rest of this race, we can kind of update our picks from earlier. Obviously, my pick is no longer in the race due to a mechanical issue.
Yeah, and looking at the number 27, that was my pick, Nichi Guardstone, still running in that top 10 right now, battling with the 72 here. And is a pretty close battle. They're running side by side for 6th right now. So decent run so far for Guardstone.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you see Janet Parkings, who we haven't really talked about there, running alongside her. Just a quick shout out to that 72 car. We also, you know, in the pre-race, talked about the driver that Echo picked to win. If I pull up the picks, I have it on a sheet. Sorry, running around pit road, I kind of shoved everything into a pocket, and it's we'll work on our organization for next time. But yeah, Cynthia Rarison, of course, out of the race.
Yeah, she was one of the first.
Blew up. So far out of the picks we have, Rashia, your car is the only one that's still in the race at the moment.
Yeah, it's a bit of luck, I think, there, especially with the way the opening incidents played out. But I think it's important to note as well. Right now, as we look at the 62 running, she's running in the middle of lap traffic as well. And we saw that play a role. You saw that play a role in the Continental race as well, and it's starting to show itself as well here as the 93s close the gap down to 7 seconds. And lap traffic is definitely a concern at this track.
You can see the gap really close up, though. Tosma still has like 4 cars to get between herself and the leader.
She had to check up there, 62. Sorry, check up.
We look at the margins when the 93 crosses the line.
It's a big gap still, but this is the kind of things that could whittle down a gap from, somewhere where the 62 can kind of safely come in without having to keep everyone else in mind in terms of pit strategy, to one where you have to be aware of the potential for the overcut or the undercut or whatever is going to happen in this pit cycle. So
yeah, very, very hard to predict. I want to shout out the 93, by the way. She's driving towards the leader and defending. That 34 is on much fresher tires.
Yeah, she's been doing
a good job of keeping.
Yeah, she's been doing that for quite a while now.
And you absolutely, if you're Tosama, you definitely want to keep the 34 behind you, because her teammate is the one that's leading, and you don't want Harina to cause any issues. That's definitely something you have to keep in mind. I imagine the spotter has informed the 93 of that quite a few times already. So we have our FanDuel mid-race picks. How are you feeling at this point in the race?
I'm feeling pretty good about the 27, but I'm not going to go with her this time around. I'm going to go with that 93 of Tosama. She's starting to pull in the gap now between her and the 62, and she's obviously going to have to deal with the lap traffic herself. But I don't think the 62 is going to be out of traffic anytime soon. I think she's fallen behind a couple of cars now, which is going to really affect her. So yeah, I do believe that the 93 is going to pull in the gap to the point where pit strategy is going to matter again. And at that point, I think it's going to be down to the teams themselves. And I have good confidence that this 93 team is going to be able to pull something off in the next couple of pit cycles.
Yeah, definitely a solid pick. Me personally, I might go something a little unconventional because we haven't seen much of her at the front, but I'm going to pick Jocelyn Nihale, the points leader right now, the 64 car. I don't think that car has really reached its full potential, and we still have 1 or 2 more stops. I think that 64 team, they've shown resilience all season, currently leading the points, and even though we haven't really seen the win as much in the wins column out of that team, I really think the 64 is due. And it's only a matter of time. I think it could be tonight. We're going to try to connect to the booth. Echo, Data, you got us?
Yep.
Yeah.
Data, you got a pick?
You know what? I'll probably go with the 23. I feel like they had the stronger car during that first half of the race, and I feel like they haven't really showed their hands yet. They're part of that group that's in that shouting distance under 10 seconds, I would say, where this traffic could really affect how pit stops go and stuff. And I have a feeling we're in for a great finish, assuming Punky Caution doesn't rear its ugly head.
Yeah, definitely always a threat. Echo, what do you got?
I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go with the 16 Sky and Jetta. You know, recovering from her injury, she's run really well this race. Running third right now, just kind of sitting back, just kind of pacing herself right now. I wanted to go with the 62, I really did, but I think it would be. I think Sky and Jetta's got what it has. I think she's got what it takes in this one, and I think that Jetta will bring us a great story to look forward to in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna remark. It seems like the commentary booth has lost a little bit of faith in Milis Jukovic, who's currently shed a lot of time. That gap is down to less than 5 seconds now, but.
Yeah.
You know, we really can't count out that 62, our Daytona 500 winner. She's definitely putting on quite the clinic today. So, do you have any final thoughts before we send it back to the booth, Rasha?
I mean, I'm just going to reiterate what I said. It's all going to be about strategy. As long as we go green, it's going to all be about strategy and executing in those cycles. You have to nail your in lap, you have to nail your out lap, and of course your pit crew has to do the best possible job to have a chance at this race.
Yep, nothing I can disagree with there. It's going to be really interesting once these pit stops start, which shouldn't be more than 20 laps away. So we'll go ahead and send it back to the booth with Echo and Data. And this has been the FanDuel Fan Studio. Hopefully we'll see you at the post race in case something happens, but you know,
Yeah.
never know.
Well, yeah, we'll see. And
I
also, those pit stops are coming quicker than they think.
Yeah, they're going to be in about
170
5-10 laps here. I think, you know what, I wanted to point this out. I noticed this a while back, but the 13 of Yania Waterton is up in 9th now. She kind of started pretty far back. She didn't really run that great through most of this race, but now she's up in 9th place. That car is definitely running very well. And I think she might get to 8th here.
You know what? She's reminding me of how fast like the 55 was early.
Yeah.
It was that car that was just slowly working its way forward.
Yeah. I mean, there's her teammate, Mimi Barino.
I know we have these different strategies. There is it was forced upon the 34. I would like that's a car I just want to keep an eye on because they have the opportunity to split this really interestingly because of where they were forced to pit.
That
Like
is true.
I
I
think
believe. I believe she doesn't have to pit. I believe she has. She only has to pit one more time. I believe so.
Yeah.
If this goes green all the way, I
Yeah.
could see it working out.
Yeah. And what's really key to that is that she could unlap herself before the spit cycle.
Well, she's 3 down, so she would go to 2 down, but
That's
she
better
could get a lap
before
back.
you come to the split road.
yeah.
Yeah. Especially with how these pit stops are.
Jeez. I also, Angeli Rugatino, the 96. Remember how well she ran earlier? Yeah,
She's about to go a lap down.
She's about to get passed by the 6 right now.
Yeah.
Oh, the 6 is a lap down
the
already.
46.
Okay.
By the way, the 46 is as far back as you.
Yeah.
They're almost a lap down.
I mean, these are the final cars on the lead lap. The 60 and the 52, the 46 and the 96 right now.
Not a good day if you're the 6, unless you're the 62 right now. Or the 64, I guess. But
Yeah.
right now.
Or the 16.
Yeah, 16. Yeah. I guess, yeah. We're in. But now, yeah, we're in that weird window.
Yeah, the window's kind of opening up here. But I mean,
Yeah,
if I'm Harina,
Yeah, when do you pit if you're the 93?
I think if I'm the 93, I'm trying to undercut. I mean, that
also,
overcut worked really well earlier, but I still think it was kind of a fluke, honestly.
Yeah.
But if I'm the 93, what I'm doing here is I'm gonna try to undercut, get the advantage out of those tires.
You actually know what? I would pit before I reach these lap cars. Lap cars that you're about to try and pass, I would actually try to make sure you get a clean entry and exit. That pit out and pit in.
I think she might end up doing that anyways, because of kind of when the pit cycle is going to begin, but also kind of based on where her pace is compared to these lappers. That might just end up being how it ends up cycling anyways.
By the way, the 23 my pick is she's charging.
You say that as she lost a position.
Yeah, she lost the position due to a lap car.
Yeah, but I just think it's funny that you're like, oh, she's charging, and then she, drops back a spot.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, but gotta give props to where the 62, at the 62's pace.
Yeah, no, that car has been very fast.
Look how far behind Temp is. 20 seconds?
Maybe it is 10. There she is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we still have, 21 cars on the lead lap, so it's not like,
Yeah. But it's also showing how many cars missed the setup.
Yeah.
And the two that the 62 is about to catch. This looks different. By the way, this is a turning point. The 62 is about to lap the 46. Or the 96. They're both ahead.
It'll probably be the 96 here, actually.
That 96 was leading.
The 96 started second, right next to the 62.
Yeah.
But things change. Things change quickly.
That rain. That weird... That desert rain was weird. Also, the 93's actually caught traffic, so this is going to make that pit entry weird.
Yeah, she lost time there.
Yeah. The 62 is actually doing decently
21's
through
coming
pit
in.
traffic.
Where is the 46 going? Okay.
We have a there's the caution.
Caution is out. The 16 came in.
Oh. But they're gonna lose a lap. Also, this is where things get weird.
52 should be the free pass car.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
They're
gonna
here.
have everyone come to pit road.
Who's on the lead lap?
Everyone that's gonna come down pit road is gonna be lead lap.
Yeah. Hey, just look at the gap the 62 built on pit road.
Well, the interesting thing as well is that this is gonna compress the field right back up.
What the? Uh-oh.
I think the 16 is still racing back to the yellow flag.
Yeah. His pit stall might have been her pit
stall was after her pit stall was after the start finish line.
Fine. She might have timed it that might be your race leader. 16 might be your race leader.
I don't think she's gonna be the leader specifically because of where she's gonna cycle out here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think she's gonna maintain.
Lead lap.
I think she's gonna maintain position. I don't know though.
Yeah.
Here comes all of the lap down cars to pit road. Except for a couple of them. A couple of cars are staying out here.
Echo, remind me, how does is it double file restarts or what's the...
It's single file. It's single file. All lap cars in between the top 10 get waved around with one to go.
Okay. So tail end stays.
Yeah.
It stays ahead. Okay.
No, tail ends do get waved around.
Okay, so that should be it there.
Oh, the
Never tail
15.
end. Oh.
Not Tabrizia Tolerone. Well, I want to go back and see the 46 doing the silly.
Yeah.
I think she realized she needed
so-
to make her pit stall and just couldn't make it. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's out of the race. Well,
Here I guess this is a weird time. We just talked with our booth, with the other, our pit road reporters.
all right. Well, these cars that chose to stay out here.
We'll get the wave
Also,
around.
yeah, the 16 is currently scored a lap down, but she will get waved around. Okay, so it's Yukovic, Tosima, Malikson, Nihale, Garnston, Waterton, Parkings, Vancy, Talberson, and Ajar Siraj, the top 10.
By the way, the 23 is probably licking their lips right now.
But yeah, look at this. We
have
have a restart now, and we've
And
we've bunched everyone back up.
the 23 has a shot. A good shot now, too. Also,
98
shout out to the one. Yeah,
98
yeah,
laps
98.
to go. Yukovic,
Oh, God.
Tosima, Malikson, Nihale, and Garnstone, the top 5. Here we go, back to green.
Yeah.
Yes, they
Let's
will
get
have
this
to pit one more
restart.
time.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you noticed how if one more caution causes this to get weird. There goes the 23 on the 93.
Yeah, but she went to the high side. Or she went to the low side, and that's just not going to work.
Yep. Watch the one.
98.
That- One was high. Oh, 39. Yeah. This should be interesting. 23 looked like it was a little bit better on the long run. We need... The car started really moving forward on like a
Here
long
comes
run.
Tosima.
Running the high line.
93 up
Side by
top.
side. They're side by side. Here comes the 23.
And new leader, it's Irenia Tosima in the 93.
Yeah. At least fires off good.
Malikson in 3rd. Seeing Garnston up into 5th. And she's going to try to take 4th from Nihale. Here comes the 13 of Waterton.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's a number we haven't seen in a
Here
while.
comes the 71 Abby Little. She's in 11th. She's looking to try to get 10th. That's both MNC racing cars in the top 10 now. Here comes the 96.
Saw the 40. It was the smarter of the black and orange cars. Way high. Someone decided to run it.
Rena, what's up on the 15 of Tolerone?
Yeah, just over there talking to the 15 crew and what they're thinking. It was a pretty tough diagnosis. They actually took a while after looking under the hood to figure out what happened, but they looked in, and apparently one of their piston rings had cracked, and the engine basically was starved of oil, and eventually the lack of oil kind of just broke it down over time and wore it out, and the engine finally gave up. They are looking at it and assuming that the piston ring was cracked when they installed it. It's a miracle it actually made it this far in the race.
Well, that's tough. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, for Toleron, especially considering she drives her own cars, you know, that's her own team, but that's not of her own doing because that's down engine-wise. That's all down on Honda. Nietzsche Garnston has closed in on these top three. The 27 is here.
Yeah.
23 is looking to the inside on Jukovic. I just don't see the bottom sticking, but
you always try to go where the others aren't.
yeah.
By the way, the 72 and 64 have resumed their battle that they were having earlier.
Here comes the 62 trying to get to the high side of Tosima. Can't do it. Maybe she can.
Here's a good run. That
Here comes
looks like a good run.
Garnston. Garnston's going to
Nice
take
jump
third.
up. Yeah, that's 62.
Here comes the 27 might try for second here. We'll put the 62 car back out in front. And
Here
put the
comes the
27 to
27.
second.
And, yep.
I mean, that's the thing is this race, you know, has had a lot of comers and goers. I don't feel like there has been a single car that's really dominated this race.
Besides the S62.
I don't even know if I'd say that, honestly. 62 led a good chunk of the race, but also, you know, I don't feel like it's been one single car that's led the whole race. Like, the 96 was really good earlier. The 93s looked really strong.
23.
Yeah, the 23 was very good earlier as well. Here comes Garnston in the 27 for the race lead.
Yep. Honestly, it could be anyone in this top 10 who could win this right now.
Yeah,
I could even say it to our 10th place. I could even say it to Miss Last in points.
Abby Little in 10th. Or Chantase, yeah. Chantase 13th right now.
Yeah. 27 leads.
93 is going to drop another spot. Malikson's going to get around. We see Parkings has closed in on this. This group back here has all closed back in now, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out to the 71 and 72 cars. Both in the top 10.
Janet Parking's running in 5th right now. I mean, this is Parking's kind of thing. She loves running short tracks like these. She's a modified driver. You know, she won the pole for Willow Springs a couple races ago, but
Road course.
we
Yeah,
never got
but-
to see her really defend that because she got taken out on lap 2. And, you know, next week we go to a different track. We go to Texas. The 1.5 mile.
That's fast.
Yeah, the 1.5 mile intermediate track. The drivers, you know, the drivers love going to Texas. It will be
Another track where it eats tires. If I
it'll be the
remember.
Continental race. The Continental race will be the AT&T 300, and then the Cup race, the HEB 500. 2 races that are going to be a great test of patience, but also they're going to be very good for racing.
Those are... Texas is a fast track. 27 is not exactly gapping the field like the 62 did.
No, but I mean, the 62 wasn't really gapping the field either at this point. Well, right now the 62 is not really gapping the field either. Like, I don't feel like the 62... I feel like these cars have adjusted to get to where the 62 was. Waterton fighting with Talberson. Talberson, I think the 39 is, you know, trying to get by the 13. The 96 is up into 7th. Nihil slipped back to 10th on this run now.
Yeah, we need these
18
tires
cars.
to wear.
There are 18 cars on the lead lap. Osama looking to the inside of Jukovic, but not going to be able to get that. I feel like you could maybe make the inside work if you dive it down really deep in 1 and 2 and are just able to get clear off of 2, but it's so hard to get clear off of 2 when the outside lane has just more momentum.
Yeah.
Like, she goes for it again here, but I mean, you just can't get it on corner exit.
Yeah.
That's where the struggle is.
That was a much higher line for the 62 that time. Oh my god. There's some decent
Whoa,
cars
we got a car
trying
down
to
pit road,
lap that.
96.
Mechanical issues continue for AWSCO cars. And that was a lead car. That was a
Yeah,
top
this
10
was a car on the lead lap. Although, point this out, this is a very interesting note to make. I believe she can make it to the finish from here.
It'll be close, but yeah.
She should be able to make it. They win about, what, 85 laps or so? Russia, what's up? What
Yeah.
happened to the 96 of Rigatino?
Yep, got down to the 96's pit box here. I heard on the radio that Rugatino was complaining about brake fade on that car. In the last couple of laps, he was saying that the brakes were basically gone at that point. He was just about able to slow the car down to make it onto pit road. But yeah, they're looking at the brake system right now. It's definitely overheating. I think one of the rotors is on fire, but I'm not sure what they're gonna be able to do, but on the braking system. But I think they're gonna try to at least cool it off and get the car back out. As you said, as you said in the booth, the 96 can make the end of the race from here, but she's probably going to lose quite a few laps, I think, under getting that car fixed.
And they're still on pit road.
Yeah, they would have needed to come out like now to really have a shot.
Well, she's 3 laps down now.
Four. Oh,
She's
now
still
4.
scored 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're still trying to get the brakes changed on that card.
The 62 has been keeping those with the 27.
Yeah.
Not exactly letting them get away.
Malix in the 23 got by Tosuma. The 23 is up to 3rd now. Lily Talberson in the 39 up into 5th.
Yeah.
And, you know, Evans Us Racing, you know, the 99 not in a great spot right now, but they have all of their other 3 cars in the top 10 right now. Carly Byrne has moved up to 9th. And Carly Byrne, you know, the last couple races, she's had a really good run of things. And it's, you know, I guess it's kind of fitting that these are both the two tracks that the last two races have been the tracks that have been closest to her hometown of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
I guess
The
here's my
96
ultimate
is
question.
still getting
Oh,
repairs
tires up.
right now.
Jack's up. Jack was up on the car, so that car should be coming out soon.
Yeah, clearly they're,
Their day is over.
well, it's not over, but they're going to be many laps down. Their shot at the win is going to be over.
Yeah, I saw their jack lifting on it.
I did see that too, yeah.
I guess here's my question. Where would you, when would you pit? And is that the 62 being a tenth faster than the field?
It's more like 400ths, because it's 0.96 to the 93 is 28.08.
Oh, 0.04, yeah. 04.
Whoa, but here
Still-
comes the 62 to the outside.
Yeah. That car has led a lot of this race. But yeah, I'll be very curious if the 23 gets by as well.
It's like if you're saying when do you pit, I think I'm going to try to pit around, I would say pit around lap 280 with about 40 to go. Just enough to the
Yeah.
point where you can change 4 tires without losing too much ground.
Yeah.
That's where I
No.
feel like you're going to make that's where I feel like you're going to make up the most time and challenge for the win.
Yeah. That, by the way, that 62 sent it down down that front straightaway to get into 3 and 4, just to get
Key
away
to
from
note
it.
here as well, the 62 does have the NordVPN fastest lap, because I know for a fact that this time is faster than any time set in the first stint.
Yeah. Also, probably has most laps led.
Yeah, that'd be another bonus point. I mean, she's racking up all of the bonus points because she also won the pole, and that's worth a
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, the only car that got close to leading laps is probably the 23 in that earlier bit leading up to the pit stop, but
Yeah.
that's slowly fading away.
Well, I think it's already gone. I think the 62's got
Yeah.
most laps led locked up right now.
Yeah. Even though they only led the opening 5.
Well, yeah, the 62 only led the opening 5, but she's also led, like, almost the last 120, so...
Yeah. It's so funny. That
Here comes Tosima with a big run. I think she might be trying to go 2 for 1.
maybe.
Well, she's gonna get 1.
I'm not. By the way, Abby Little has passed her teammate.
She's up to 7th.
That's fun. Fun to see.
DeGabby Abriella is in 12th right now in the 20 car. Looking very
Point
strong.
leaders dropped out of the top 10.
Yeah, Nigel's dropped back to 13th. You know, with all these cars this close together now, it's like, you know, Yukovic
Yeah.
could afford to kind of run the apron line just a little bit, just to kind of settle everything down. You can't really afford to run it now.
Yeah. So we've had 2 for incident, 2 wrecks for incident, 1 for rain.
Yep. Well, 2 yellows for incident, not 2 wrecks for incident.
two yellows.
I mean, I guess there have been 2 wrecks.
Yeah. Still, the incredible display by the 46. 2 cars that were doing well wrecked.
46.
out
The
or had
46 did.
issues.
The 46 did the pace car thing here.
Yeah. Yeah. And 96 had brake issues. You'd think it would be the other way around. You'd think it'd be the 96 wrecking with brake issues. Where is it?
Well, maybe that's why the 96 was struggling.
I think they're back on track. Or did they drop?
Are they back on track? They are. Whoa, the
Oh,
98 is slow.
There's damage. Yeah. I thought I saw damage on it, but I couldn't tell.
Well, we'll see if we can follow up on this one.
Battle. Bound for the lead.
27 is close.
Yeah, if I remember, the 93 didn't really start to, like, close the gap on the 62 until a little bit later. Like, the car came in late.
Yeah.
in a
To be
run.
fair, I think it was more due to lap traffic than anything else.
Depending how fast that pit stop is by the 99, whatever car just
The
hit
98.
98, depending how fast the pit stop is, they have a better tire situation to the
Yeah.
96 right now.
How many laps down is the 96? The 96 is 6 laps down.
But we'll have clearly fresh tires.
Yeah. Reno, what's up? What do you got on Ajar Siraj?
Yeah, so all these cars and their fuel system have a filter to keep dirt and things like rubber that builds up from getting into the fuel system. It's not usually something you change under red flag, especially as short as this one was, and it's definitely something that the 98 team regrets not doing. It seems like the fuel filter basically broke open, probably due to debris or something. Either way, damage to it kind of contaminated the fuel in that car. They're gonna try and flush it out and replace it, or try to get this car back up and running. But we'll see how Eva Yarsaraj and that whole team can respond to something like this. It's definitely quite a blow.
She is back out on
I'll
track.
get back on track. I'm curious about her pace.
I think she'll be... Yeah, well, she'll have... Yeah, she has fresh tires. They just took 1 can of fuel, so...
That's all she needs to get to the end. She pitted with like 60 to go. About what she needs. If this race goes green, there's gonna be some cars on some old tires. We're approaching that window you were talking about, Echo.
Yeah.
Something tells me these guys are gonna go late.
Abby Little is up to 6th now.
Yeah, that's all moving forward still.
'27
Really,
is
yeah.
there on the 62 right now.
I'm wondering if those tires are like are gone.
Well, if you want to see who has gone tires, look at everyone that's racing the 96 right now.
Yeah. And also watch the 98 once if they catch someone.
Yep. Right there. She just caught Waterton, and yeah, she's gonna blitz by.
This is why the fresh tires let you do these inside passes and into the corners. Of course, when they take the shortcut, they slow down a little.
Yeah.
Not really a shortcut then.
These top four are pretty close to each other right now, but I think they're just
Vibing to that final stop.
yeah, they're just I think they're just kind of sitting back and just waiting till the final stop. I mean, genuinely here, I'm thinking, like, if I'm one of the leaders, I'm hitting a little earlier because I want to take 4 tires.
Yeah.
You're seeing how beneficial tires are to
Yeah.
everyone? It's just, you know...
5 in 96 and 71 and 98, yeah.
Yeah.
Abby Little is closing on the leaders. That is something.
I think Talberson is also closing up.
Yeah.
Oh, the 27 just lost second. Tosum has moved up to second place now.
It looks like we hit this battle again, and 23 decided to run low, 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 low.
Tosuma in the second position, closing up on Yukovic. Her teammate Talberson in 5th. Her other teammate Byrne in 10th.
And the 99 is...
The 99 is 3 laps down.
Yeah.
Do not worry about it.
First car probably 3 laps down.
I believe she is the first car 3 down, yeah. Oh no, the 98 is the first car 3 down.
Oh. By the way, these 4 are going to have company. 39 and 71 are closing and...
Yeah, they are. The gap is shrinking between these cars and the 39 and 71.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be a shot in the leg if the 71 for some reason won this? That'd be a shot in the bat for the team.
Yukovic fighting with Tosuma. Garnston and Malikson just kind of sitting back right now. They're just keeping it laid back right now just because... No, don't push it a little too hard. 31 car on pit road.
Was that a tire or was that?
We'll see. We'll have to check.
Yeah. Okay. As this is that window.
Yeah, this is the window I'm talking about here, where it's like...
And didn't the 31 have a tire issue beforehand? Oh, is that the 31 coming off?
Yeah, that's the 31 coming out of pit road.
At
least I think it
That
is.
was a fast stop. If it is,
That
a
is
fast
4
stop.
tires. That was 4 tires.
That might be the car to watch. Because that was not just a slow, like the slow repair. It was fast.
Well, she was multiple laps down, so... What's up on the 31?
Hi, Echo. We're just watching the 31 who came in a little bit earlier than they were expecting to. Happerman was reporting that a tire was going down on one of her tires was going down, so they elected to come in there, just do her last pit stop right then and there. Didn't make any adjustments or anything like that, but I don't think she's going to be, I think she's multiple laps down. She's not going to be contending for this place, but other teams will definitely be looking around at that 31's pace just to see if maybe they can, if it's time to come in and get some fresh tires on.
Pardon me. Bound for the lead right now.
Tosuma to the outside. 93 car is gonna take it away.
Nice pass. I think that's where the pass is going to happen, too. the final pass is going to happen off 2.
I think that's where you're gonna see, the best chances to make a move. Coming off 4, if the car in front of you slides low, you're gonna just get to their outside and just pinch him down enough to where you can roll by.
Right. Yeah, and hopefully drag race. If not, drag race.
39 and 71 are still closing, although they're not closing at as quick a rate as they were before.
But it's also the tires are like gone.
Yeah. We have 40 laps to go now.
They still need to pit.
They still have to pit one more time. Because, we know they restart with 98 laps, and even NR's, maximum fuel is 92 for these cars, which still isn't enough. So they will have to pit one more time. I think if you're pitting later, honestly, I think maybe kind of thinking about it, I would agree with you on, I think 2 tires would be better.
Yeah.
If this, with this kind of pit stop. Just because there's going to be so few laps remaining.
Yeah. And the amount of time you lose on pit road is a big issue.
Well, that and also just with so few little laps remaining, when they'll make that pit stop, if they pit late, I think that it's just, you're not going to be able to make up enough ground with 4 tires. Rena, what's up on strategy?
Yeah, I've been walking around pit road talking to crew members about how they're feeling. I'm here with the 39 crew at the moment, and they're talking to me. Pit stops are most likely coming soon, but a lot of teams are hesitant to go early. There was a lot of talk about whether that 62's overcut was a fluke. Well, a lot of teams aren't really buying that. They're really thinking that staying out is going to be the move, and that overcut might be the best route. But of course, pit stops could happen at any time. They're just waiting on the call, and none of these guys are going to let us know what happened.
39 in.
Well, there's another commentator, Jinx. Talberson is the earliest one of these leaders that has come to pit road. Carly Byrne is in as well.
Yeah.
Mondayo just came in. I see Vancy in the 1 car has come down. So is the 18 and the 16 coming in now. And the 93's in.
93's and the 16.
Here comes all the leaders except for the 23. 23 stays out.
Oh. I guess the 23 saw what thought about what the 62 did, and here we go.
Well, I'm curious. I want to watch this battle off.
Yeah. Well, that 62's pit stall. Vicky. Oh, it might be interesting. Pretty sure it's gonna be 4. We're too far.
Yeah, it's 4 tires for everyone right now. 23's in. I see the 64's come down. The 26 of Chantose is now the leader.
Watch the 39. They're on track. Ah.
93 jumped. 27 got ahead of the 62.
Whoa. 39 is going to have the momentum.
26 is now in. I believe the 13 is still out on track, and I think she's the last one. If there's a caution right now, that would mess up a lot of things.
Nope,
Waterton will come in here.
She has a lap on the field.
So I think it's going to cycle to the 93. The 27 is in second, I believe.
Currently, I have the 23 ahead.
Why?
Of the 93.
The 23 is behind.
There we go. Actually, yeah, the 23 just got the 62. Yeah, they just got past it. The key thing is
Ooh.
what is. Oh my god. Where's the 13?
13 is still coming out of pit road, I believe. Where is she? Well, I don't know where she is, but we... Oh, there she is. Yeah, she's coming out of pit road right now. The 93, Satosuma, is scored as the leader once more.
Yep.
Waterton's going to cycle out behind Byrne. So I believe she's going to cycle into 11th.
Yeah. And it's the 93 versus the 27.
Yeah, these cars are well back. I think unless we get a yellow
Yeah.
flag. This is what the battle is going to be. And yeah, I
Yep.
think it's... Well, speak of the devil! The 10 car has spun in turn 2. And we have a yellow flag.
And this changes everything.
That
The 93 is going, you gotta be kidding me.
should give Ijavida the free pass and... Yeah.
Watch who comes to pit road.
Who?
we had a bunch of cars just hit pit road.
I think the 96 has damage from that. And so does the
Yeah.
9. The 6 and the 99, I believe, came to pit road.
The 6 looks like they saved his lap, but the 99 was multiple laps down. Pit road will be open here.
I believe the pit road was already open. The 2 of Isa Ijavida is the lead lap car. Or is the free pass car.
Okay. Okay, 2. 2?
Okay, I guess she just doesn't want to take the free pass. Alright. I think there's a weird bug or something at this track where if you tell them to take the free pass, like, right by the pit entry, they just get a penalty or something.
Yeah, it got EOO. Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's fine.
91 is probably going, what the hell?
38's probably doing that too.
Yeah. Oh no, 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 no. This is gonna be a funky restart. Take a look at what she did. I'm nervous that this hits the leader.
Oh, it got close.
Yeah.
Parking's got spun there. Whoa!
And damage. Oh, whoa.
That's fine. Okay, so Tosima, Garnston, Malikson, Yukovic, Talberson, Little, Parkings, Waterton,
Parkings might become the
Chantose,
pit
Nihil.
road. Parkings might become the pit road after that.
Let's see. And I think she's going to stay out here.
I'm thinking like after the restart.
All right, well, pace car's off. We have 27 laps to go.
Also, happy Thursday, everyone on the East Coast.
Green flag. And not the most stellar restart from Tosima.
Not a good start by the 62.
Yeah, 62 really hung back.
Abby Little!
But Tosima's going to get away because the 23 tried battling the 27 there. Jukovic is going to get third around the outside. '72's doing okay on pace.
Yeah. He got the car in the high groove and it is flying. Ah! Low. High line.
I will need to get a replay. We will need to get a replay of that last yellow, by the way, because I never did it because I was too busy focusing on the 2 trying to get its lap back.
Sounds good.
Remind me of that after the race. The 39 has really slipped back.
And not firing off good.
Okay, it's about to be like the 60 is really surprising, but Weska's a lap down right now, actually, so...
The 19.
Yeah,
He's in the
Handstrom
top
is in
10.
9th. And remember where Handstrom started?
Last.
Yep. Dead last, 40th.
Okay, the 23 is struggling.
Parkins is in 5th now. She's
Did that
actually
damage
gained a
actually make
spot
the car-
after this.
She's faster. I say that she takes the low line.
Here comes the 71 looking for that spot.
The teammates battling for our top 5.
Those aren't teammates.
Oh, I thought they were.
The one is the teammate to the 71.
Ah,
The 72's teammate is the 20.
ah.
Which, to be fair, she's still up here. She's in 11th right now.
Yeah, and the 1 is like just outside the top 20.
Rena, you got anything on the 72 after that?
72 obviously had some choice words for Isa Ijavida following that little bit of contact under caution. Spotter tells her that damage isn't too bad and to just drive it as best as she can. Well, right now, Janet is driving as angry as she ever has, and it's definitely starting to show in the pace, doing very well despite the damage to the rear of that car.
Here comes Handstrom, looking for 7th.
Yeah, yeah, there's the 26. That car's up front.
26. The 19 is in 7th now. You know, haven't really seen very much of that car, really all race.
Yeah. Question is, do we get another caution and gets him another shot to get further up?
Anything can happen. I mean,
Especially with the 2. The 2. Why did we get that car to lead the lap back? Now I question.
because she was the first car lap down. That's why we gave her a lap
down, I
back.
know. Yep.
But now they're going to catch her again, and they're going to probably lap her here again.
And we're gonna get another caution, so she's gonna get the lap back again.
She's actually already won that down because she pitted after the caution.
Ah.
So she's already 1 down. She would be going 2 down. The free pass car, at the as it stands right now, would actually be the 91 of Alicia Byrne.
Oh. Okay. A race that went mostly green has turned into a little bit of a silly race. 62 has suddenly found speed again.
62. Actually, the 23 is going around the 62. So I think the opposite is true. The 62 has lost speed.
We'll see if the 93 can get a gap. Because right now, getting a gap is probably actually the best move.
She actually is going to pass the 2 on the inside.
Yeah.
That's how
That
slow
proves
this
how slow
car
the 2
is.
Yeah. It did wreck the 72. Who's, by the way, is in 5th. The
Yeah.
angriest driver's in 5th. 5th. I wonder if the 72 is going to catch the 2.
Oh, she probably will.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think this late in the race, you don't want to burden yourself with
Yeah. By the way, the 20, it's 10th.
Yeah, Abriella up into the 10th position. Actually, 9th. She just passed the 13 of Waterton. Talberson's dropped back to 11th. And yeah, funny enough, the 10 who was multiple laps down, stayed out on that last caution, hit it at the very last moment. Then the caution came out. She's on the lead lap in 15th. So a good bounce of luck for her.
Yep.
Yeah, these cars have caught the 2 now.
And I think that was the 62 passing the 23 on the inside.
On the outside, she got by, yeah.
I thought it was the inside from what I was seeing.
I think the 23 might have tried to look up to the outside, but just couldn't get the momentum.
Yeah, it might get it here. Maybe. Yeah.
Can Malikson get that spot? Ooh. I think Jukovic is going to try to put the 23 behind the 2, but I'm not sure how well. Yeah, she's going to try to trap her behind the 2 there.
Yeah.
That's
use the inside.
That's the way you pass on the inside, I guess.
By the way, they are going so slow. Look who's going to pass them. Look
The
who's
72.
angry.
It's Parkings.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Parkings will just drive by and just give the 2 a little bit of an angry side eye, I suppose.
Or give the what gives out the window.
Well, that's the wrong side for it.
True.
And this is all bunched up.
Yep.
Well, we've recently had our AWSCO Windows 11 to go, and Irina Tosima has pulled out a 2-second lead now on Nietzsche Garnston.
Yeah. We need a caution. For this race to, I think, the end with a chance, because I think that 93's gone.
Yeah, the 93 is pretty well out there. I think would take quite a bit. But, you know, for Garnston, still, another great finish. She already has 1 second place. She has 2 top 5s already this season. If she were to get a 3rd, I think that would be even better for her. Especially considering, you know, how important points are.
Yeah.
You know, she came into this race 19 back of the lead.
Okay, this battle for 5th is turning into a hornet nest. Oh.
Yeah, we're seeing Parkings try and get around Jukovic now.
That's for 3rd.
That's for 4th.
Or that's for 4th.
Yeah.
Angry. That 72 driver is angry.
I mean, I can't
think she's
fault her.
I think she's actually also faster than the leader right now.
Yeah, but she might have way too much ground to make up.
Yeah.
And yeah,
it's just
Tosuma's
funny.
now 3.4 seconds out in front of Garnson. Malikson is third. ERR, if the 93 is to win, ERR would sweep the races in the desert because Vebolst won in Las Vegas. And now, if Tosuma were to win here, I'll be 2 for 2 in the desert for Evans Ross Racing.
There's a bunch of good stories
Actually,
in this.
I
top
guess it could be
six.
2 for 3 if you want to count Willow Springs as in the desert.
Yeah. But by the way, we can definitely give a shout out to our drivers.
Yeah, Abby Little, I think, deserves one. 39th in points. She's gonna end up 6th if things hold.
Maybe fifth. Maybe fifth. She's catching the 62.
Yeah.
Our pole sitter is actually fading a little. Or trying to get a move down here. There's. The battle is suddenly for 7th.
Oh wow.
What the
This
heck?
is a bunch of cars merged up here. There's DeGabby Abriella in the 20s. She's actually in this spot now.
Yep. The 39 is trying to hold on to top 10.
She actually
there's
just
Savon.
got back into the top 10. And the
By
71.
the way, 71's teammate is in 10th.
Yeah, Vancy's up here. Little's trying to take 5th. Yeah, 4 seconds now for Tosuma.
Yeah, that 93 was fast.
This 93 is very fast, and it took her a while to get to the front, but
She's there when it counts.
yeah.
Oh.
White flag is out.
White flag.
1 lap to go here from Phoenix for Arinia Tosuma. And what a drive she did. She came up from quite a decent ways back in the field, but she's done a great job in this one, and it'll be Arinia Tosuma who will come out of turn 4, and Tosuma will win at Phoenix.
Now we need to wait a little bit. And Happy Little got 5th.
Takes 5th. Yukovic, Gabriela Chantose, Talberson, and Vancy is the top 10, and then this absolute cluster is back here for the remainder of the positions. 16 cars are going to finish on the lead lap.
The 16 finished 16th.
Hey!
Hey.
Well, what a race. I mean, that was even with the,
We have a wreck to find out about.
Yes, I got, let me just export everything first so that I don't lose it.
Yeah. So we don't get another rainstorm.
I don't want to reset this.
Also, happy Thursday.
So, I mean, a great, very, very fun race. I honestly really enjoyed that. Maybe it wasn't, the battling for the lead all the time, but I feel like, that was a great race. Yeah. I felt like that was a great race just for the amount of action there was in the pack and just everywhere. It was very difficult to drive, but it was very clean, and it was generally just
Phoenix.
Yeah.
That feels like what Phoenix should be.
Yeah. I have to agree. I mean, what stuck out to you the most about this one?
I guess what you guys are probably going to talk about, how the overcut, that first pit cycle that we'll never know about, gave the 62 an edge.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I have to look at the incident. Hang on, I'm gonna go back and look at that. It
Oh, so
already
the
it
nine
already
actually-
happened. It already happened by here,
What the fuck?
buddy.
Sorry, I cursed. Right, my bad. My friend, pardon my French. Beep.
Oh, I
Bruh.
think the 26. I think the 42 is coming to pit road
Yeah.
and just slows up right in
Oh.
front of the 26. The 9,
Oop.
96. Look at the 13 get through that. Whoa, the 64 and the 1.
Oh, and there's the 60. You can actually find this.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
60. Jeez.
Yeah, that was an eventful moment.
The points leader coming in. Let's go on board with her. Jeez.
That engine was almost gone. By the way, on that 64. Oh, there's the 19 too.
So Arlen Handstrom had to slow up for that. Carly Byrne, unfortunate break for her and for Rugatino as well, who did end up retiring from that. Well, we're gonna send it back down to the studio for the post-race show. What do you
Yeah.
have for us
Yeah,
down? What do you have for us down there, Rena and Russia?
Hi, yeah, we got here, down here in the FanDuel fan studio. Rosh, did you have any thoughts on that? Arinia Tosima coming home with a pretty, I'd say a statement win for that team.
Yeah, strong run by the 93 and but by the 93 after that pit cycle, and despite all the cautions, the 93 was able to hold her lead and pull away a little bit at the end there. So definitely a very strong car at the end, and that's exactly what you needed, I think, if you were the 93. She was running really well all throughout this race, but she just needed that extra little bit in that pit cycle. I think was the team made made the adjustments that they needed to, and they were pretty much strong all the way to the end, and that's why got them their win. Good strong runs by the 27 and 23 as well. Those two cars were also in that kind of similar position to the 93, and were
Yeah,
very competitive
absolutely.
at the end.
I mean, kind of a heartbreaking, runner-up finish for Garnston yet again, coming so close to a win, leading laps, and watching it pull away from her towards the end, but still another top 5 on the season. Definitely good, for that team. Yappy Malikson, by the way, was one of the drivers who stayed out on that final run to try the overcut. Didn't really gain anything, but didn't really lose anything either. So Malikson ended up coming home in 3rd. I think my standout driver in that last stint, though, was Janet Parkins.
Oh yeah,
After the two made contact on under caution, that must have lit a fire underneath her, because I think she went from like 8th or 7th to 4th by the end, and there was a big gap. So
Yeah, Parkins
Really,
had an
really good
excellent final run there. She was just moving up through the field and was able to get a top 5 for the for that work, I think. And I also want to point out another good strong couple of runs for the MNC cars. We mentioned last week how they had been struggling for the first part of the season, but they've definitely turned things up since then. Abby Little walks away with a top 5, and Vancy comes home with another top 10 as well. So good runs for both of them.
yeah, and we saw how close it came to falling apart for Vancy, as well as the 64. Nihale was my pick. I ended up going 13th, which been kind of the theme of the weekend for me. But I mean, a couple drivers that really made good comeback runs. Look at Gianni McJasmina after the red flag, ends up finishing 15th. I mean, that's a great recovery run from the 6 car.
Yeah, finished it on the
I
lead
mean,
lap. Good
Sophie
run.
Chantazé came into this race last in point, just comes home with an 8th place finish. So a lot of stories we could go on about.
Yeah, plenty of good recoveries coming in from those positions. I'm rather surprised that we did get 16 cars on the lead lap, considering how easily we were, filtering cars off of the lead lap in even relatively short runs as well. So yeah, I think when you consider how spread out the field was in over the course of the race, it was definitely interesting to see how the how that as part of the racing unfolded over the course of the race.
Yeah,
I think.
also quickly, because I didn't realize this until now, how about Ava Yarsaraj? She was 3 laps down at one point after that fuel system issue, ended up finishing only a lap down in 22nd.
Yeah, good. Another good recovery. Yeah, another good recovery run. Didn't notice that either. Yarsharaj finished only a lap down, and managed to bring it home in with a good finish. So congrats to her on a good recovery run. I think. A couple other drivers out back. Some of these drivers I think had a few problems. The 10, of course, had that spin. The 42 was involved in that last caution, I think, as well. Oh yeah, but a couple of cars here at the back having problems. The 31, of course, he had that tire problem that we talked about. But yeah,
Yeah, 2 different tire failures today for Taylor Happeman. It's really unfortunate for that team.
yeah, tire failures are definitely something that I think teams had to keep in mind through the race. I think.
And like it's tough for a team too, because like yeah, I mean, just from my analysis, one tire failure can happen as just a fluke. You hit a piece of debris or something of that nature. But if it happens twice, that is a setup issue. I think the 31 team very much missed it today, and we saw that for a lot of the field.
Yeah, I think setups definitely played an important role in how these cars performed, especially on those long runs, and that definitely plays a role into how much the field spread out over the course of the race. I think I mentioned in the Continental broadcast at some point that this raced a lot like a road course, and that's exactly what we saw here once again, with the way the field, with the way the field spreads out, and you only get a few that you only get maybe 5 or 10 cars that are really in contention for the race by the end of things. So yeah, I think setup definitely played an important role for a lot of these teams. I think it evened out a little bit at the end there. We didn't see the 93 pull away as much as the 62 did over that initial middle run, but I think it definitely still played a role in the end.
Yeah,
Alright.
definitely.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take over from here. We have we had a great race. It was 311 laps of fun, and it was we had that interruption in the middle, but it was still a great race, and we had a long run to the end, and not really a lot of incidents. So, I gotta give the shout outs where they're due. Congrats to Rinya Tosima on the win, and thank you, Rena, Data, and Rasha for joining our broadcast tonight. I will see you all